Hello and welcome inside Ray Fisher Stadium at Ann Arbor, Michigan for another presentation of WCBN Sports' coverage of Michigan baseball. I'm Alex Strain, joined by Adam Bressler here today in Ann Arbor, and it is a beautiful Sunday mid to late afternoon for baseball. Michigan's third home game of the season, and their first against their rival, Michigan State Spartans, who they'll be taking on here today. This is a four-game weekend homestand, 2 against Illinois Friday and Saturday, and then 2 against Michigan State today and tomorrow. 64 degrees and sunny here at Ray Fisher. Pretty excited for this one.
This is classic spring baseball weather. You could not ask for anything nicer of a day to start off this intense intra-state rivalry series. It's only 2 games this year due to the scheduling, but you could count on it being really intense.
Yep, these are the 2 home games Michigan will play against Michigan State, and I believe they will see the Spartans in East Lansing for 2 later in the campaign. 3 later in the campaign, all right. So can look forward to that. But today, Michigan will have Jacob Denner on the mound, and he has had 2 kind of different starts. He is another lefty. We saw Hadger on Friday, also a lefty, and Denner this season's made 2 starts. He stands 6 foot 210, and his first start against Iowa was very, very strong, and that was exactly what Michigan wanted to see out of him. 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts against a pretty solid Iowa team. Second start against a worse Purdue team went in the opposite direction. An inning and 2/3, 4 hits, 3 walks, 3 runs allowed, just 2 strikeouts, and he got chased out before completing his second inning. So Michigan's going to look for him to go deeper into this game. Their bullpen management's been very good, though. They were able to just go with the tandem of Hadger and Dragani to cover most of the game on Friday, and yesterday they got Cam Weston to go deep into the game, had Isaiah Page close it out. So they've got a deep bullpen, well-rested for today and tomorrow. First pitch on the way is swung on and chopped over to second base, gloved right there by Riley Bertram. 1 pitch, 1 out to begin the day.
And that's exactly the start that Michigan wants to lead off this game. Couldn't even be more efficient. You got all these sabermetric guys talking about pitching efficiency. If you get 27 of those, it will be a very quick afternoon.
Yep. Michigan and Michigan State doing battle here today. Wolverines wearing the all-white home uniforms. Michigan State wearing what appears to be grayish, almost charcoal-colored road uniforms. There's a called strike to Bryce Kelly. We didn't even get to introduce the leadoff hitter because he decided to get out so quickly. That was Trent Farquhar. This is Bryce Kelly, and Joe Stewart will be on deck for the Spartans. We'll go through the rest of the lineup in a moment. 0-1 is outside, 1-1. Zach Iverson, 4th. Zaid Walker, 5th. Brock Vredenberg, 6th. Gabe Sotris, 7. Mitch Jebb, 8. And Bailey Peterson, 9. Denner gets ready to wind up. The 1-1 on the way. That one is swung on and knifed foul, arcing back towards the parking lot. That one bounces high and hits the brick wall of Yost Ice Arena out there. Now Denner quickly ahead 1-2 on the second hitting Kelly. The Michigan defense today has got Mazer behind the plate as he's been throughout this season thus far. Ready for the 1-2 coming. That one is swung on and knifed back to the screen. Stays 1-2. Christian Molfetta at third, Benjamin Sims at short, Riley Bertram at second, and Jake Marty at first, left to right in the infield. In the outfield, Tito Flores, Christian Bullock, Clark Elliott, left to right out there. Denner gets ready, and he winds up for the 1-2. The pitch swung on and knifed again out of play. These swings a little late from Bryce Kelly, but he's getting just enough of it to stay alive.
And we have a pretty strong shift from the Michigan outfield. We got center fielder Bullock. He's quite far, almost 20 feet, kind of where you'd expect like a shortstop to line up, but in the outfield.
And they're playing pretty shallow in the outfield as well. 1-2 swung on and missed. There's a strike 3. Quickly 2 outs for Jacob Denner. That'll bring Joe Stewart to the plate. That's a big out for Denner because Stewart was hitting .367, entering that at about 11 for 30 on this very young season. Now Stewart steps in. Denner gets ready peers in, winds up and delivers. That one swung on and hit foul. Now, this Michigan State team played this afternoon. This is their second game of the day. They are in a doubleheader. They played Illinois here in Ann Arbor on the Ray Fisher Diamond. 0-1 on the way is taken a little high. They also played Illinois yesterday as well. They won yesterday. 11-0, I believe, was that score.
Yep, they won 11-0 with a really strong win from Mason Erla.
And then today they lost the first game of the doubleheader 7-3. This one swung on and hit right into the dirt. Foul. Count now goes to 1-2. Bring you more information on the Big Ten baseball standings here in a moment.
Yep, at the top of the conference is the Michigan Wolverines at 8-2.
Yep.
Indiana follows them 6-2, so 2 less games in the Northwestern.
At 6-3. Denner winds up the 1-2 coming. Just misses. Then Nebraska at 6-4. Rutgers 6-4. Illinois now 6-5. Michigan State sits at 4-5. Really muddled middle of the
Yeah, I believe
standings.
this site isn't right. I believe they're 5-5.
Okay.
It must not be updated.
Wind up the 2-2. This one is swung on and driven into the outfield on the run, going back towards the track, towards the wall. It'll bounce at the base of the wall and hop over the fence. That'll be a ground rule double for Stewart. That's now his 5th double of the season and his 7th extra base hits. A lot like Illinois on Friday, some of these MSU hitters have very impressive batting averages in this very short sample size season thus far. Hot bats, and obviously putting up 11 on the Illini yesterday speaks to that.
Absolutely. That ball had a lot of pop to it, a lot of fly, and it found the gap. If it were either to the left or to the right, probably 10 feet, it would have been caught. Probably 10 feet further, it would have been over the fence cleanly. So could have been better for Michigan, but could have been a lot worse as well.
That brings Zach Iverson to the plate. He takes a ball that bounces in 1-0. Iverson is playing third base today. 286 hitter, 342 on base, 343 slugging. In an RBI opportunity here with runners in scoring position. Stewart standing on second. The windup and the 1-0. High, 2-0. We understand that our audio is being relayed on Big Ten Network Plus. I want to thank everyone for joining us both on YouTube and through BTN Plus's streaming service. We will do our best to convey both details to the radio audience and to the visual audience in this simulcast broadcast. 2-0 on the way. That one is low, now 3-0. Denner's fallen behind. 2 quick outs. And then the double surrendered, and now he's fallen behind.
Yeah, one really quick out, and then the second one, not so quick, a couple of foul balls, but he got the strikeout nonetheless. And then now danger of putting on a second base runner.
3-0 coming. This is swing and a miss. It's really not taking on 3-0 there.
Yeah, they say 3-0 is the most dangerous count for a batter because you are reluctant to swing, but oftentimes that's when the best, juiciest meatball is going to be sent across the plate.
3-1 on the way, and I think it made contact with the bat there, and so the count should run full 3-2. We're a little off center back in the press box here at Ray Fisher Stadium, so for those watching on the stream, you may have a better view of some of these than certainly we do. We will do our best to hang in there. 3-2 the count now. Iverson, runner on second, 2 outs. See what Denner dials up here. Full count offering, and that one is fouled off. Again, spraying over our heads, and big bounce off the Yost wall, and then I think it hopped back over the fence into the concourse here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Denner is a sophomore, got to pitch a little bit last season. Made 5 appearances in that COVID-shortened season, 12 innings pitched, did collect a save. This is his first year as a starter. 3-2 coming, and this one is chopped over to second. Bertram grabs it on a hop, flips over to first, and that'll end the inning. There's one double, but he will be stranded. Denner puts up a goose egg to begin the top of the first, and we will see the Michigan Bats for the first time today. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports.
And as we go into this first in-between inning change, Michigan is coming out to bat for the first time all afternoon. Clark Elliott is going to be batting leadoff for the Wolverines, which is something we've seen a little bit of this season, but he hasn't been a mainstay. He's been on and off in that leadoff spot. And then following him is Mazur and then Flores as well in this first inning and potentially more.
Well, what's been seen so far this season for Eric Bakich's group is that he's got some hitters, and a lot of these guys have solid batting averages. The question is there isn't a semblance to a lineup yet. They're kind of juggling some players around in these different slots. I mean, you look at Jimmy Obertop, who was in the 6th hole on Friday. He responds by going 3 for 3 with 2 homers, a double, and a walk. So he gets bumped up now. He's in the 4 slot. Clark Elliott in that game on Friday was actually in the 5 slot. Then he has a very, very good day yesterday where he goes 2 for 4 with 5 RBIs thanks to a pair of home runs. Now he gets bumped up to the 1 slot. So, still some juggling. I mean, Jake Marty was the leadoff hitter on Friday. He's now down in the 7 hole. The only thing consistent right now is Bertram and Bullock at the bottom, as well as Flores and Mazur kind of in the middle there, with Obertop moving around, but still a very new season. And this was a storyline in our broadcast on Friday that, this is a really new group of guys. And you have a lot of young players who were recruits maybe last year or even this year who haven't gotten much college experience. And you also added 5 grad transfers in the offseason. You go back to the College World Series run of 2019, that entire team, at least in the starters, have pretty much all been decimated. Bullock is the only one left standing in the starting lineup. None of the starting pitchers remain. So from the last full season, this is a completely new ball club, and so you kind of expect the shuffling around in the lineup.
Absolutely.
So first pitch coming to Elliott, and he fouls it off. The hurler today for the Michigan State Spartans is Adam Berghorst. Comes into today with a 3.12 ERA, a .75 whip. He's been very strong so far on this young season. Hasn't gone very deep into games in either of those 2 starts with just 8 2/3 total innings. There's a ball. Count evens at 1-1. Elliott, as we just mentioned, monster day yesterday against the Illini. Takes a called strike, 1-2. Started every game as a freshman last season, did Clark Elliott. Had no career home runs entering this campaign, entering this weekend actually. Changed that yesterday. 1-2 on the way. There's a ball, 2-2. Guy with some speed. And while he did play every game as a freshman, he actually reached base in 14 of those 15 games. One of the only freshmen last year who got to play in that shortened season. This one skips in.
Not even close. That was like 5 feet in front of the plate.
Michigan would love to get Elliott on base. He does have some stolen base potential. Had a couple steals on the season entering this weekend. Still sitting at 2. Batting average .308, on base .419, and thanks to that monster day yesterday, slugging now over .600. Full count offering from Berghorst. This is swung on and hit, and it will be grabbed by first baseman for the out.
And Clark Elliott, he's really driving up the count. He's waiting for his pitch. And then that one he just took a little bit too early and chopped it up the first baseline. And he, even with his fast speed, nothing could be made of that one.
Yep. Griffin Mazur now steps into the batting box. He has 3 home runs already on the season as he takes a called strike from Berghorst. He is a transfer from the University of California, Irvine. Hit .297 with a .419 on base back in 2019. Didn't have a ton of power that season, though. There's a pitch outside, 1-1. What he has shown this year was a lot more power. 3 home runs, including a grand slam versus Iowa, which is now already his career high in home runs, just 10 games into this season. 1-1 on the way. There's a strike from Berghorst.
I'm sure he appreciates playing in the Big Ten as well against these Big Ten pitchers. That might have something to do with his increase in stats. Not to say he didn't work hard over the long off season too.
1-2 coming, this pitch high, and he is one of the several grad transfers on this Michigan team, along with Molfetta and Sems in the lineup, in addition to Will Proctor out of the bullpen, who we saw on Friday. With the sort of advent of college free agency now, with the loosening of transfer rules that allowed Eric Bakich to kind of do some off-season shopping and pick up some pieces for his team. There's a ball, just misses, and now the count runs full for the second straight hitter here in this bottom of the first.
Yeah, that loosening of rules, it's great for teams like Michigan, big conference, big brand schools, easy to get these guys for one or two seasons.
3-2 coming, swung on and hit, foul. Goes right down the third base side and then bounces over towards the Michigan dugout. A decent number of fans in attendance. We believe these are all family members. Michigan baseball has a pretty big roster, so if every player has a couple family members in attendance, you could get 80 or 100, which it looks like is here today. 3-2, that one well inside, and it hit him.
He's going to feel that one tomorrow.
Looked like it might have gone off his left arm, perhaps, maybe off the back, as we saw the 13 number twist to try and get out of the way, but he could not. Regardless, that's the first base runner for Michigan. Hit by pitch, and 1-on-1 out now for Tito Flores.
It doesn't matter how he gets on base. All that matters is that his OBP went up. Here he's shaking it off, and he's already being aggressive on the base path.
First pitch coming to Flores. That one bounces in, and Mazur starts to dance around down there at first. Good block in front of it by Sotres. Michigan State defense will introduce to you Kelly, Stewart, and Walker in the outfield left to right. Iverson, Jeb, Farquhar, and Vredenberg down at first, and then Sotres behind the plate. Berghorst on the bump. Flores at the plate in a 1-0 count. We'll introduce him in a moment after this pitch. 1-0 coming, called strike on the inner half of the plate. Tito was 2 for 2 last year in his only 2 plate appearances. Had his first career home run last weekend. Pretty highly touted recruit coming in last season. 8.5 out of 10 on perfect game, which rates high school baseball recruits. He's an in-stater, native of Detroit, but he went to high school outside the city. As he takes a ball 2-1, he went to Brother Rice, which has produced a number of Michigan athletes, the Catholic high school out in, I believe, Bloomfield, Michigan, the alumni of former WCBN Sports Executive Director Evan Osterly. So Flores stands in the batter's box. 2-1 count and a quick throw back from Berghorst. Tito this year is at .306 in his batting average, .422 on base, slugging an even .500. He's got 6 RBIs, 5 walks, 8 strikeouts, 4 doubles, and his first career home run in 36 at-bats. Wind up, here's the pitch.
Mazur,
that one just missed, 3-1.
He took off a little bit like he was faking a steal, but stopped about a quarter of the way down the base path.
I think he's just tempting, trying to get in the head of Berghorst, who's now behind in the count, hitter's count for Flores, 3-1. All the first 3 hitters have gone to 3-ball counts. The windup, the pitch, this one is swung on and chopped high into the air to third. They're going to try to get the force at second. They will not have time to get the double play. At first, it'll go down as a fielder's choice 5-4 for the putout.
And that ball, it was chopped really high, so it had very little chance of turning 2 on that one. But they did get the lead runner.
Now here's Jimmy Obertop. He's got the most power in Michigan's lineup, leading the team with 4 long balls. Had 2 of those in the Friday game against Illinois. Both were solo shots. Now he has a chance to do some damage with a runner on and 2 outs. There's a called strike. Flores, 1 steal on the season over there at first. You wonder if Michigan could try to get a little aggressive and see if they can't put him in scoring position for a potential Obertop hit.
The pitcher, Berghorst, he already has 18 pitches this game.
Flores
Make that 19 now.
Thought about going there, then threw on the brakes. There's another called strike 0-2. This is the first count where Berghorst has really been in command. The 3-ball counts against all 3 of the first hitters is the reason for that rising pitch count. And again, he hasn't gone deep into games yet this season, so we'll see if Michigan continues to work these counts. But Obertop's got to be in plate protection mode now. 0-2 count, the windup, and he swings and rockets that one right back to the screen. Count will stay 0-2. Waiting on deck is Christian Molfetta.
And Michigan, they are at 0-2 right now in the count for Obertop. But he's looking to extend this count. And Berghorst, he is certainly looking over to first quite a bit.
So pitch well outside, 1-2. You still see Flores bouncing around down there, and Flores presents a more credible stolen base threat than Mazur. Flores is 1 for 2 on the season in stolen base attempts. There he goes. This one is swung on and hit back. Looked like a decent jump. Count will stay 1-2.
Yeah, and this at-bat alone is already doing its damage for Michigan State's pitch count. We've seen a little bit of errancy. We saw in that first at-bat a skip ball, second at-bat a hit by pitch.
1-2 coming. This one is swung on and hit, and that will be caught by the second baseman for the out.
And with that, after the first, it is 0 apiece for Michigan and Michigan State. 1 runner left on base for the Michigan Wolverines in that bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, no runs on no hits, 1 left, and no score headed to the second inning here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports. I'm Alex Drain, joined by Adam Bressler here today. Jacob Denner will go back out on the mound. Warm up for his second inning. We'll update you with some scores as we were doing on Friday with 5 minutes remaining in the second half. Baylor leads Wisconsin 63-54 in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. In the NCAA women's basketball tournament, Michigan women's basketball is taking on Florida Gulf Coast. They lead 62-52 with 1 minute and 33 seconds left in the third quarter. In that one, also pull up the Big Ten baseball scores here in just a moment. Penn State knocked off Maryland 6-5. Rutgers blanked Ohio State 2-0. Indiana defeated Purdue 9-4. Northwestern leads Minnesota 8-3. That one is in the 8th. Nebraska leads Iowa 8-4. That one is in the 6th. And then this game here today tied at 0.
And with that, we have Zade Walker coming to the batter's box for the Spartans.
Zade Walker has a sizzling .417 average as we get ready to begin this top of the second inning. Denner stands and gets ready for the first pitch. There's a called strike. Denner got through that first inning with 19 pitches. Got bogged down a bit there in the end of the inning. That one is swung on and fouled back. Now quickly 0-2. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, when we look at Denner's pitch count, Michigan will be happy to have him go as long as he can, but they have a very, very rested bullpen for this game here today. 0-2. That one fouled off again. Using just Dragani and Pace on Friday. Dragani and Proctor on Friday, and then yesterday Page after the excellent start from Cam Weston. So Willie Weiss obviously is ready to go in a late inning situation, in addition to a number of those other arms. 0-2 coming. That one is swung on and missed as Walker chases it way high. And there's a second strikeout of the day for Denner. Gives us one out here in the top of the second.
And Walker, he had a over 400 batting average, 450 OBP, so it is quite an achievement to get that early strikeout in this game.
Brock Vredenberg now in the batter's box. Swings and hits this one foul down the third base side. As always at these Ray Fisher Stadium games, with certain foul balls, you have to watch out for the cars. You have cars down the right field side, those foul balls that loop out of the stadium, as well as those that go the other direction, the parking lot between Ray Fisher and Yost. There's a called strike on the outer edge. Now quickly 0-2, Denner's doing well to get ahead of these MSU hitters. Fell behind Iverson, but came back to get him out. Otherwise, he's been putting himself in advantageous counts. Now ahead 0-2, we'll see what he dials up here to Vredenberg. The windup and the 0-2 coming. This one is swung on and hit right back to the screen. Denner, a product of Bergen Catholic, a New Jersey product. Eric Bakich has done well to recruit from across the country, draws a lot of players from the Midwest, but also has done his fair share out east and out west. There's a ball low and away, 1-2. Mazer looks into the dugout to get the signs. The 1-2 on the way. This one swung on and popped foul high and out of play. Like it went over the roof of the stadium. Didn't hear any thump.
And Vredenberg, he's been quite late on the pitches he's both swung at and the ones he's fouled off on as well.
Denner winds up. And that pitch is high. Now the count runs to 2-2, just nibbling around. Got the radar gun out in center field. Gave us 89 on that pitch. Try and watch to see where he's sitting on these different offerings as the game goes along. Count now even at 2 apiece. Here's the pitch. This one is swung on and hit into the outfield. Backing up is the center fielder Bullock, and he'll make the play for the second out.
And that ball, it was in left center field. Had not too much of a pop to it. Plenty of time for Bullock to get under it and make the fly out.
So that'll bring up Gabe Sotrace. He is a catcher today, coming up with 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the second. No score between Michigan and Michigan State. Denner winds up, and that pitch is taken high by Sotrace.
And already Denner has surpassed the amount of outs in his previous outing, so that's a great sign for the Wolverines.
1-0 count. Pitch missed just a tad inside, it appeared. Count 2-0. Michigan players standing on the top step of the dugout and watching. About a half dozen of them sort of hanging over the railing. 0-2 on the way, 2-0 on the way. That one slapped foul. 2-1. The remaining players sort of seated or just standing down below looking through the twine that protects the dugout. Michigan State players, none of them are hanging over the railing. They're all just standing. Sotrace at the plate. Mitch Jebb on deck if necessary. 2-1 on the way. This one is swung on and hit into left field, moving over towards the line. That one looks like it'll drop fair into the corner. Scooped up there by Flores, and for the second straight inning, Michigan State notches a 2-out double. An identical situation with nobody aboard, but that'll bring up Mitch Jebb with the runner in scoring position.
And that was a just laser right down the baseline, and we're kind of off center, as we mentioned, in the press box, so we couldn't quite see it. We had to look at the umpire.
Yep.
the second/third base umpire to signal it fair, but it was from what it looked really close to the line.
That left field corner is the toughest for us. That one fouled off. First pitch to Jeb, number 8 hitter in the lineup, and the starting shortstop today, 256 hitter. Not a ton of power in his bat so far this season. 10 hits, just 2 of them of the extra base variety. 1 RBI, 3 walks to 5 strikeouts. Denner ahead 0-1. That pitch clocked in at under 74 miles an hour, so a lot of changing of speeds right now. 0-1 on the way. There's a called strike on the outer edge. Looked like he went back to the fastball. That one at 89 on the outer edge. And he's quickly ahead 0-2. Now can go to his strikeout pitches and try to collect his third of the day to get out of this inning. Trying to keep the game tied at 0. Runner on second, 2 outs. The windup and the pitch. This one is swung on and knifed. It's going to get down into the gap. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Michigan State will take the lead. Rounding second is Jeb. He's headed for third, and he will slide in with the head-first slide. And Michigan State has taken a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second.
Mitch Jeb, his helmet came flying off around midway between first and second base. He was really gunning it to get that triple. Didn't even need to slide there, but he had so much time.
That was quite an impressive slide, I will say. Got a lot of air time on that one. Kind of leaped as if he was diving off a diving board into a pool and losing the helmet along the way. Very Pete Rose-like there as he hit second. So now Michigan State's got a runner on third and 2 outs in the inning as Bailey Peterson steps in. First pitch to Peterson is slapped, and that one will get into left field for a base hit. And just like that, back-to-back pitches, back-to-back hits, and now it is 2-0 Spartans.
And this is how the game gets out of hand for the Wolverines. It's still early, but when the end of the lineup is able, the 7, 8, 9 hitters, you go into the 7th hitter with 2 outs, and then you end up surrendering 2 runs. It's not a great sign from a pitcher.
And especially that at-bat to Jeb just a moment ago. Denner's ahead 0-2 in the count, and you do not want to give up a triple in an 0-2 count.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even that hard hit, but the outfielders were playing in, so they kind of ate what they sowed.
There's a pitch down and away as we flip to the top of the lineup. Trent Farquhar grounded out to second to begin the game. Now a runner on first, 2 outs, and a 2-spot put on the board by the Spartans. Denner now, this pitch will be number 40 for him. Checks the runner, wind up, and this one bunted, foul, 1-1. Not sure why Farquhar would be even attempting a bunt in this situation.
Yeah, with a 2 outs and a runner on first, it wouldn't be a suicide squeeze or anything. Or the leadoff hitter, I think he's just showing that he could do it on that one.
1-1 count. The windup and the pitch. This one is swung on and knifed. It is going to drop by the center fielder, Bullock, and will be scooped up by the left fielder, Flores. That one was just a jam job that dropped right between the retreating shortstop, Sems, and Bullock coming on. Bullock laid out, couldn't grab it. That's now 4 straight hits for the Spartans, and now runners on the corners, 2 outs. Denner needs to get this next out.
And Bailey Peterson advances to third from first base. If he had much speed at all, he'd probably be home on that one because it was 2 outs, so he was running on the contact, and he just barely made it into third safely. But it isn't hard to imagine that the Michigan Wolverines could be down 3-0.
They need to focus on getting Bryce Kelly out, hitting .459 on the season, .533 on base. First pitch down and outside, 1-0. And again, this is a situation where we were just a moment ago in a 2 outs, nobody on situation, and things have spiraled. Mazer comes out from behind the plate, I think, to adjust the defensive alignment, perhaps, and the umpires.
I believe he was signaling whether or not to throw down if this runner on first decides to steal. I know when in high school when we had a first and third, we'd have the catcher do a similar sign to the defense.
1-0 swung on and popped foul. 1-1. This is a moment in a game where a young pitcher like Denner needs to refocus, and resiliency is one of the keys in sports, especially in something like baseball where every at-bat is a different situation. 1-1 count. The wind-up, and that pitch is taken just a tad outside. I liken these pitching in some sense to tennis in that the great tennis players are the ones who are able to get broken or lose a game in a heartbreaking fashion or even a set and then completely just wipe it from their mind and come back with a clean slate in the next one. That's how at-bats can be for pitchers as well, being able to shake off the last at-bat. That's what Denner has to do here. There's a called strike. Now 2-2.
And Denner's coming into this at-bat with 4 straight hits. And even when he got 2 strikes onto the count, he just was unable to put it away, or almost too eager to put it away. That gave a nice meatball to the batter.
2-2 count. Denner winds up the pitch, and that one misses the zone. 3-2 now, trying not to load the bases for Joe Stewart. In a 3-2 count, you're going to have to put it over the plate, which is never good news facing a hitter who is as hot as Kelly. 17 for 37 on the season. 7 walks to 8 strikeouts. Doesn't have any extra base hits, though, this season. The windup, the 3-2. This one is swung and pop foul.
And that'll land in the parking lot right between Yost and the baseball complex.
Standing out there is a good place to catch foul balls.
Yeah, I go running on Ferry Field on the track over there, but I haven't seen many foul balls make it over there.
Yeah, that's a little bit harder of a place for them to get to. 3-2 coming. Got him, strike 3. And that'll do it for the inning. That is a good bounce back from Denner to get the called strike 3 on such a dangerous hitter like Kelly. And strand 2, he limits the damage to 2 Spartan runs. And MSU leads 2-0 after the second inning. We go to the bottom half of the frame between Michigan and Michigan State. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports.
And Michigan State puts up 2 in that second inning. And although 2 runs is not what you want to be giving up if you're the Wolverines, if you're any team, it could have been worse. They had 2 runners stranded on base, including 1 in scoring position there. And there were some pretty strongly hit foul balls that, if pulled fair, could have brought in some more runs. But you mentioned earlier in this game, this crowd, just how big it is and how excited and the energy you could feel, even though it is just limited to family. But if I had to estimate, I'd say about 150 or so fans in the complex right now.
Did you ever have to do estimation contests in elementary school?
I did actually won one of them with jelly beans, or not jelly beans, Skittles.
Okay.
With Skittles, and it took me like a month to eat like the 1,652 or whatever it was. But
this is a good day to estimate crowd sizes.
Yeah.
Christian Molfetta will lead off here in the bottom of the second. It'll be Molfetta, Sems, and Marty in this frame.
I would imagine this game probably gets a larger crowd, both it being a Sunday and Michigan State being the closest Big Ten opponent. Gets a lot of visiting fans as well in the stadium.
First pitch on the way to Molfetta is a called strike. Berghorst in that first inning surrendered a hit by pitch. That was the only base runner. Fielder's choice replaced that base runner. Stranded 1, didn't allow a run or a hit. Pitch is way high, 1-1. But he did throw 24 pitches in that first inning and went to 3 3-ball counts. Have to think Michigan State would like a quicker inning from him this time around. 1-1 coming, and this one is swung on and hit over to the shortstop. Gloved, quick throw across the diamond, and he just gets Molfetta by a half step. Good throw by Jeb across the diamond for the 6-3 putout.
And Molfetta was really showcasing his speed on that one. He almost beat it out, too, but just a split second or two shy.
So that'll bring up Benjamin Sems, who was really the most accomplished of the grad transfers. 2019 All-Big 12 second team at Kansas, also won the award of Kansas's best defensive player that season as he takes a called strike from Berghorst. Sems went and played in the Cape Cod League in 2019. He hit .305 in that 19 season. Little power, but a real contact hitter, and he swings and pops this one up into left field, running over, still running, and making the play after losing the hat was the left fielder Kelly. That's the quick out Berghorst was looking for. That ball looked like it had a chance to drop in, but then it just hung up there a long time.
Yeah, it had the looks off the bat of one of those plays where it's perfectly placed between like 2 or 3 running fielders. But it hung up there quite a bit and gave Kelly more than enough time to get under it.
2 quick outs brings Jake Marty to the plate. There's a called strike. Marty had a successful high school career in Illinois. Didn't see any action last year, but hit a double on the first collegiate pitch he saw and has been very hot so far this season. Has drawn a ton of walks, 9 walks in just over 40 plate appearances on the season. There's a ball, 1-1. 12 strikeouts as well, not putting a ton of balls in play, but working counts and battling. 2 outs and nobody on here as he takes the 1-1 offering just off the plate. Well, this is a situation with 2 outs and nobody on that Michigan State was able to start a rally in the last half inning. We'll see if Michigan can do the same here with Marty at the plate. Bertram is on deck. 2-1 coming, swings and pops that one foul, 2-2.
And deep in this lineup, too, it's identical. The rally for Michigan State started with their 7th hitter, and now Marty is the Wolverines' 7th hitter as well.
2-2 coming. This one is swung on and hit into center field, right center field rather, and moving over to make the play is Walker, just at the edge of where the shadows begin, and that is a quick 1-2-3 inning from Berghorst, just what the doctor ordered. And Michigan State protects the 2-0 lead, headed to the 3rd inning between Michigan and Michigan State. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports.
I'm curious, you have a lot more experience with this Michigan team. How much of a leash do you think Dinner gets from head coach Bakich?
Well, I think it, depends on how he can do. I mean, obviously, Michigan's got a rested bullpen, but if he can settle back in here and bang out a few more innings, I think he could definitely go 5 if he manages the pitch count, but going to need a quicker and more confident inning here in the 3rd. Got a question on Twitter. Are these announcers students? The answer is yes at the moment.
You have about 5 weeks left of being a Michigan student.
Yeah.
I have a little bit longer than that. But thank you to everyone listening both on YouTube and watching on BTN Plus, as WCBN provides simulcast coverage on this bright and sunny Sunday afternoon in late March. This is what baseball games are meant to be. Beautiful afternoon, not a cloud in sight, just blue sky everywhere. It's mid-60s last I checked. We're inside, so we can't quite get a look at the weather firsthand. But with that, Michigan will come out to pitch with Dinner in the 3rd inning. And the first pitch from Dinner is awaiting us. And it comes inside, and it is hit rope to left field. And he will take first base with that. So quick, the bats keep on firing, just an extension from that last inning. And on that, already one runner on Stewart for Michigan State onto first base. That was a hard hit liner down into left field. And now the pitch from Dinner awaits, and it comes in, and a called strike for Iverson. Zach Iverson is 0 for 1 on the afternoon. And Iverson is looking for this 0-1 pitch from Dinner. Pitch is in, and it is hit. High, deep fly into left, and running in and a diving. Did he make the catch? And it looks like he did. Wow. Incredible athletic play from Sims. He ran all the way from shortstop, called off Flores, and then made a sliding diving catch on that pop fly. And had the runner Stewart have to double back. He was almost at second there, but tough to pick him off after that slide, but still kept him from advancing. With one out, we have Zade Walker, who is 0 for 1 today at the plate. And Dinner throws to first, not really attempting a pickoff or anything, just a keeping him honest type of throw. In this third inning with one out. And the first pitch comes in and is hit right to second base, and not going to try to turn two, just flips it over to first as Bertram getting the out. And that'll put 2 outs in this inning. However, Stewart will advance to second base on that one. So now a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. We've definitely seen Dinner struggle to get that third out so far to this game, both in the first and then that second inning as well, where all 4 hits in that second inning came with 1 out, or 2 outs, excuse me. Brandenburg is up, and a called strike low and away will make the count 0-1. With 2 outs. Second pitch is awaiting us. And in the windup is Dinner. He throws it, and a check swing. It looks like he fouled it off. And that'll bring it to 2 strikes, 0-2 on the count with 2 outs. And Dinner might be able to get out of this inning without any damage, despite some of those hard-hit balls in play. Took some real athleticism from Sims to save a run, possibly. And third pitch is hit right to the third baseman, and he dives and he catches it on the fly as Molfetta. And with that, Michigan closes out that inning relatively quickly. They got through a few batters, but no real long, drawn-out at-bats like we've seen in previous innings. So at the end of that third inning, the top of the third inning, it's 2-0 Michigan State. And Michigan State leaves 1 runner left on base who was on second and in scoring position. And we have Mambo number 5 being played here in Ray Fisher Stadium.
Yep.
It's certainly that type of day.
I took the Sporkle quiz of can you name all of the women mentioned in Mambo number 5. I got a 100% one time.
Really? That's a life skill. That was on trivia. My parents, they do trivia during quarantine. That's been their thing. And that was one of the rounds back in, I want to say like November, where you had to name all of them, and you got a point per person. They should have called me up. I could have gotten at least like 6 or 7.
We have A good piece of news from the women's basketball tournament. Michigan now leads Florida Gulf Coast 85-63, so they look like they, with 2:26 to go in that game, looks like they will be punching their ticket to the round of 32 in the NCAA women's basketball tournament, and will take on the Tennessee Lady Vols in the second round, the 6-3 matchup there.
It's always nice to send Florida Gulf Coast home early.
Yeah.
After that run, I want to say 2013 in the men's tournament. They leave you nervous. They kind of have the same vibe that Loyola of Chicago has earned over the past couple of years, just being a low seed that has the potential to go far. So the Michigan women are quite lucky to escape with a win into the round of 32.
Berghorst goes back out for his third inning of work, had a longer first, quicker second. Only used 10 pitches in that second inning. First delivery is down and away to Riley Bertram. Bertram Bullock, and then they flip to the top with Clark Elliott. There's a swing and a miss, 1-1. Bertram, as we mentioned in the Friday broadcast, one of the guys who did get to play a little bit in 2019 on that team when he came in for Jack Blomgren, then was a starter in last year's abridged season. 1-1 coming. This one slapped right up the middle, but MSU had it played perfectly, and the shortstop Jeb gets right to it and throws for the out. One down will bring up Bullock to the plate. That's now 5 straight sat down by Berghorst.
And Bullock has struggled at his time at Michigan offensively. We all know what he could do defensively. But
he did have a shining moment in the Los Angeles Super Regional in 2019 with a double and a triple in that game, and the only starter left from the 2019 team, although he was not an everyday starter most of the time, but sometimes was in and out of the lineup. Regardless, a source of veteran wisdom for this new-look team. 0-1 on the way, bounces down and in, 1-1. Bullock at .233 on the season with the batting average, .281 on base, has a double and a triple to his name out of his 7 hits. 2 walks, the 10 strikeouts continues to be a bit of a problem. Swings and hits this one into shallow center field. Backing up is Jeb. He's called off by the center fielder Stewart, and another out. And another quick out for Berghorst, that is. Quickly 2 down in the inning.
That first inning, Berghorst gave up, he surrendered 23 pitches, but since then he has been quite efficient from the mound. And you mentioned how he struggled to go pretty far into any game this season. At least so far today. I know things could change on a dime, but he's looking like tonight might be the one.
Called strike. 0-1 to Clark Elliott.
Elliott's 0 for 1 today.
Second pitch is taken for a ball. 1-1. Clark Elliott grounded out to first unassisted to lead off Michigan's half of the bottom of the first. 1-1 on the way. Called strike 1 and 2.
That looks like it grazed the bottom right corner of the box.
Berghorst now 1 strike away from getting us another very quick inning. 1-2 coming, swung on and fouled off. Michigan softball was out practicing in Alumni Field on Friday. Nobody out on the diamond across the way right now.
When's their first home game? Is it next weekend?
I think it's the weekend after. We'll check that schedule and get back to you in a moment. 1-2 on the way. This one is swung on and knifed. It will drop into right center field. Elliott will head to first, and he'll stop there. Michigan's got their first hit of the ball game. It's a 2-out single for Elliott, and that'll bring Mazer to the plate.
And that's definitely the spark that this Wolverine team is looking for. It's unfortunate that it comes with 2 outs, But now back at the top of the lineup, they can make something happen, potentially bring them in. Mazer last time at the plate, he got hit with the pitch in his left elbow. I don't think he'd be complaining to take another one of those, but anything just to get on base and keep this inning alive.
Runner on first is Elliott. Mazer steps in. First pitch on the way. That one goes way over the head of Sotras and down to second. There goes Clark Elliott.
First stolen base by either team this game.
It'll go down as a wild pitch.
A wild pitch. First advancement, anyway, for any team. But what I've noticed from Berghorst this entire game is that he's super efficient without runners on base, just getting easy, quick outs. But with runners on base, he really gets rattled. That's when he skipped it last inning. He kept checking over to first in the first inning, but now he threw a wild pitch. I'm wondering if this is going to keep up.
That pitch down and away, good block from Jeb, and now with the runner in scoring position, Mazer could potentially have the MSU 2-0 lead with something into the outfield. Elliott obviously has got the speed from second to go second to home. Just will depend on what the situation of the hit is, and Mazer's ahead in the count 2-0. Flores waiting on deck. That one just nubbed foul. Quick look at the schedule, and yes, Michigan softball's first home weekend will be April 2nd and 3rd, a couple weeks from now.
They go to Bloomington, Indiana on Friday, so maybe they could stop in and see the men's basketball team. Wish them some luck. Hopefully for all of us, they'd still be in Indiana by Friday.
2-1 count now on Mazer. Pitch is off the plate, a little inside, 3-1, maybe a little high as well. Flores on deck if needed. 2 outs in the inning. Elliott standing on second. Michigan trying to give MSU a little taste of their own medicine with a 2-out rally here.
And just any contact that lands should be enough to bring in a run.
That pitch is in the dirt, and that'll put Mazer on first. Now 2 on and 2 outs for Tito Flores.
Flores' first time at the plate this game was a fielder's choice, just a chopper right to shortstop, or third base, excuse me.
Yep. 5-4 in the putout on that.
And they tried to turn 2, but it was just too much height on the ball. They didn't have enough time.
Flores in the batter's box. Michigan now making Berghorst work again. And this one is swung on and hit right to third base, and that will be a very, very easy play for Iverson. Just taps the bag, and MSU will head to the dugout. Michigan will strand a pair, and we head to the 4th inning. Our score, Michigan State 2, Michigan 0. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports.
And with that past inning, although they were unable to get any runs out of it, they still looked good, and they got that spark that they have been lacking so far this game.
Michigan has now left 3 on. MSU has left 4 on. Still a 2-0 score. Denner will go back out there. Gave up the leadoff single in the 3rd, but then was able to get a few quick outs. His pitch count sits at 55. Berghorst's at 51 through 3 innings each. It'll be the bottom of the order. Sotras, Jeb, and Peterson. 7, 8, 9 for MSU, and all 3 of those combined for 3 hits in the 2nd inning. Double, triple, single. So Denner will look to have a much better performance against those players this next time through. It continues to be a very beautiful day. Sun still well out, and the temperature still sits at 64. It's slated to touch 70 tomorrow, and Michigan will be back here for Game 4 of this weekend homestand, enjoying that good weather, as then it'll stay 66 and 70 through Wednesday, then dip back into the 50s by the end of the week. Denner gets ready to take the hill. Sotras gets ready to step in.
Any update from San Antonio?
I
Is
will
that
give
game
you,
finalized?
pull that up.
We could take a look at that.
It is final. Michigan women's basketball wins 87-66 over Florida Gulf Coast. First pitch to Sotras, swung on and missed.
And remember, Sotras really started that rally. He came up with 2 outs on his first plate appearance and then ended up scoring a run, the first of 2 in that second inning.
0-1 coming, called strike. Now ahead 0-2 is Denner. Michigan's bullpen all sitting and watching down that third base side. 0-2 high and outside.
And Denner, he's staying consistently hot in the high 80s for his miles per hour.
1-2 on the way, swung on and pulled over to third, grabbed by Molfetta. Throw across the diamond, had to be quick there, and he does indeed get Sotras for the first out.
And now Mitch Jebb comes to the plate. He got that screaming triple. Not that hard hit, but it just found a gap in the left center outfield. The outfielders were playing in probably a little bit too much in, and they paid the price.
First pitch inside to Jebb, 1-0.
He is a freshman out of Saginaw, Michigan.
Is high, 2-0. Saginaw, the birthplace of which famous female athlete?
Is this a trivia question? Should we get people tweet in?
No, I'm asking you.
Oh, I don't know my Michigan trivia. I'm from out of state.
Serena Williams was born in Saginaw.
She was
Michigan.
born in Saginaw.
Yep. 2-0 on the way. Swung on and popped high in the sky. Looks to be in shallow right field. Coming on a long way and making the catch is Clark Elliott. 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 4th. And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Peterson. Denner would love a quick 1-2-3 inning here if he can just get one more out.
Especially from this part of the lineup.
Yep.
That gave him so much trouble the first time through.
Peterson had an RBI single his first time up. That pitch is low. 1-0 the count. Peterson's photo out there in the scoreboard in right center field, he is photographed with quite a mustache. 1-0 on the way. This one is clocked into left center field. The outfielder's on the run. Back to the track, to the wall. Leaping up and making the catch there in center field is Christian Bullock against the wall. Looks to be a little slow to get up, but he made the play, and a good charge put into that ball from Peterson, but it'll go down all the same. Quick 1-2-3 inning for Jacob Denner. And Michigan's bats will go back up in the bottom of the 4th, still trailing 2-0 to Michigan State. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports.
And Michigan is lucky to get that 1-2-3 inning there, especially after that hard hit ball right into the gap between left and center. So it was well placed. A little bit further, it might have even gone over, but reeled in by Bullock. Put on a little show, maybe a web gym in the making. But you mentioned that trivia, and now I have to wonder, was Venus Williams, was she also born in Saginaw?
I'm not sure. They moved from Michigan shortly after Serena was born. No, Venus was born in Linwood, California.
Now that's the trivia question, because you would think they would be born in the same city, but only one of them was. Yeah.
Were you born in the same city as your twin brother?
I was. Same hospital room, I would hope. But yeah, that would be that would be tough. Different cities for twins. I had 12 minutes on him, so
Okay.
I guess if any place you do it, it would be D.C. Just being so tiny, you could get over to Maryland or Virginia in those 12 minutes. But that would be tough. That would be a really fascinating trivia question.
So we get ready to go here in the bottom of the fourth. Obertop will lead off. 4-5-6, Obertop, Molfetta, and Sems in the bottom of the fourth. Michigan got their first hit in the bottom of the third, got 2 runners on for the first time today, but stranded them. We'll look to get some rhythm going here in the bottom of the fourth. This is the second time through the order for Berghorst. The first pitch is a ball. Obertop lined out to second to conclude the first inning in his only prior at bat today. 1-0 on the way, waves and misses there. 1-1 count. That one at 89.5 miles an hour from Berghorst, according to the radar gun displayed on the scoreboard. 1-1 coming, bounces in, 2-1. Molfetta in the on-deck circle will trot over to pick that ball up, and the umpire puts up a time signal to halt play until Molfetta is back in his designated area. Quick delivery from Berghorst here. 2-1 is a called strike, 2-2. Berghorst enters this fourth inning with 51 pitches on the day. We'll see how long his leash is, but he's done well through 3 innings so far. That is certainly the case.
Only 1 hit given up.
2-2 coming. Obertop pops this one up into shallow right field. Drifting over towards the foul line is the second baseman Farquhar, and he makes the play. 1 down in the inning. Obertop's second putout in the glove of Farquhar, and Molfetta will come up. We didn't introduce Molfetta in his first at-bat. Stanford transfer, played a bit in 2018, then hit .245 in 14 games last season. A contact hitter, though he had a home run against Purdue last week. Molfetta swings and hits this one into the air again, and Farquhar again will get some work, and he'll make a quick play for a quick second out. Game chugging along right now.
Yeah, 2 quick outs already. We're just over an hour in, and we're already into the bottom of the fourth. It's a great pitcher's day, not quite for the fans of offense. More of a National League type of game, not an American League one today.
Sems at the plate. First pitch is a called strike. Sems flew out to left. First time up. 0-1 coming, swings and hits this one in the air into center field on the run, and making the play there is the center fielder Stewart, and that is a very quick 1-2-3 inning for Adam Berghorst, who is cruising along right now. Still only 1 hit allowed, no runs, and Michigan still trails 2-0 as we head to the 5th. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports. How's your bracket doing?
Oh, it was doing fine until Illinois had them going pretty far. I had Ohio State losing in the round of 32, so that game didn't kill me too much. Michigan's my pick, so I still could get the winner in. But who's winning the WCBN league? Maybe we could pull that up.
I don't know.
I
don't think we're allowed to say
out.
those names on air.
Okay.
That would be doxing.
Yeah.
Denner out there to do his warm-up pitches as the defense heads out and the bench empties, and they do their group routines out in left field. Michigan State will have the top of the order upcoming in the top of the fifth, Farquhar, Kelly, and Stewart. Fans here today haven't had a ton to cheer about so far. I think the most excited they were was probably when Denner got that strikeout looking to end the top of the second.
The crowd got pretty loud with Bullock's kind of diving catch.
Yeah, that's true.
To end the inning. Not quite diving, but like he rolled over and hit the fence pretty hard. But the Michigan fans, the Wolverine fans, got pretty loud. Not so much from the other side of the stadium. But still, I can't stress enough just what a beautiful day this is.
Certainly picturesque for mid to late March in Ann Arbor, Michigan. There's a called strike to Trent Farquhar to begin the at-bat. 0-1 on the way. Called strike 0-2. Projected pitching matchup for tomorrow is Blake Beers against Nick Powers. We'll preview that later on in the broadcast. 0-2 coming. And this one is swung on and rolled over to short, gloved by Sems, and he'll make the throw across to Marty at first for the first out of the inning.
And this is the type of play that Michigan fans would want to see from Denner. Keeping the counts quick and low, and even if he gives up contact, keep it ground outs onto the ground, no flies.
Pitch inside to Bryce Kelly. Look at Jake Boss Jr., the head baseball coach at Michigan State, now in his 13th season in East Lansing. There's a strike, 1-1. Boss has gotten MSU to the NCAA tournament once in his tenure. That was back in 2012. Did get a share of the conference regular season title in 2011 as there's a swing and a miss, maybe foul tip, 1-2.
And you mentioned just how tough it is to make the College World Series as a Big Ten team. So that's impressive that he did it once.
The tournament, that is.
Or the tournament, yeah.
There's a chopper to short. Sems gloves it on a hop. Throw across and just did get him. Good defensive play from Sems. And 2 outs now quickly in the inning for Denner. Before he was at Michigan State, Jake Boss was the coach at Eastern Michigan. And he won the MAC and then was only there one season before he got snatched up by MSU, and his roots here in the state go back a ways. There's a foul on the first pitch to Joe Stewart. He played at Alma College, then coached in St. Clair, Michigan in high school, then in Weberville, Michigan, then up to EMU, and then to MSU. A lot of roots.
He's played at practically every collegiate institution. Go up to Saginaw and then come down to Ann Arbor.
There's a strike, 0-2. Denner right now, this is a really confident-looking fifth inning from him, and he'd love to get another 1-2-3 frame. Wind up in the pitch, a little high, 1-2. This next offering will be pitch 75 from Denner. He sat down 8 in a row trying to make it a clean trip through the order if he can get Joe Stewart here. This is fouled off. Stewart with the single to lead off the third. 2 for 2 today, a double and a single. Denner trying to sit him down for the first time this afternoon. Wind up in the pitch. That one again fouled off. A little corkscrew will land just outside the fence where there are some people gathered watching through the fence. Not sure if those are fans who are not permitted into the game and are just watching from afar, but there are people there. 1-2, fouled back. Looking through the railing, kind of like a kid looking through a candy store window.
It's like back in the old days before like stadiums were big, like people just climbing over the fence and getting a peek. without paying attendance.
1-2 on the way. This one is swung on and hit, and it will get into center field for a single. Stewart reaches base for the third time today, and with a hit for the third time today. Denner cannot figure him out.
And with that, Zach Iverson, he is 0 for 2 today. He comes to the plate in the cleanup spot with a runner on first base, looking to bring him home potentially, get a run out of this inning in the fifth.
Quick throw back from Denner over to Marty at first to hold Iverson on. The windup, the pitch swung on and missed. The first offering there to Iverson was well high, but he chased it.
He was chasing that straight to the fence. It looked like he had quite a strong swing there.
Joe Stewart at first is 1 for 2 this year on stolen base situations. Now Denner steps off. This next one will be pitch 80 for him. This could be the last inning that we see of him. Depend on how this wraps up. He'll quickly throw back again.
For what it's worth, I don't see anyone warming up in the pen, at least from my angle.
Yeah, no, not yet for Michigan. 0-1 count. And bunt is attempted, and it rolls foul. Now the count goes to 0-2, another strikeout situation for Denner. He's got 3 on the day. Hasn't collected one since he got the strikeout looking to end the second. Mostly been pitching all to contact his last time, really full through the order, 8 straight until that single from Stewart. And now we're back to Iverson, who flew out to left, or rather to short in left field. His last time up, Mazer looks into the dugout. Now they get ready. 0-2 coming. This one is popped right over our heads, and we'll get out of the stadium.
And we could hear that thud right on the roof for that one. But 2 strikes, 2 outs, 0 balls. We have the runner on first, Stewart. He will be running on pretty much any contact.
And he goes. This one is hit, and that is going to sneak through the right side into the outfield. Trying to cut it off there is Bullock. Has trouble with it. They're raving the runner Stewart around third, and there will be no play. That will be another run scored, and it is 3-0 now. Spartans on top. And again, the 0-2 2-out situation. Denner cannot finish off a big at-bat, and he gets tacked by Zach Iverson, who goes to second on the play. Not sure if they're going to dish out an error, as Bullock had some issues with it in center field. I think he'll get a double.
Yeah, and the difference there for Stewart was that they sent him on that.
Yes.
He wouldn't have come home if he didn't have such a jump start.
Yeah, he was basically a second by the time the ball was really hit.
Yeah, and then he kept on going, and likely if he wasn't at third already, Bullock probably wouldn't have bobbled it, or maybe, you never know with those things, but definitely a gutsy play call sending him that paid off.
Now we have some grounds issues, looks like.
On that slide into home plate, Stewart kind of swept up the batter's box on Michigan, completely 100% AstroTurf field. So not even home plate or the cutout is dirt, not even the mound is dirt. So when you slide, apparently, as we just saw, bit of a chance that it could be swept up with that slide. Something you don't have to worry about on a natural field.
and they're needing more assistance.
Get the groundskeeper out here.
This is a bit of a anticlimactic break in the action, but again, the Spartans have done it with a 2-out rally, just the same way as the second. 2 quick outs, then they get a hit, and then an 0-2 count, and, I mean, basically deja vu after Denner had seemed like he was settling in cruising through the end of the third into the fourth, beginning the fifth, and now has hit some problems now at 82 pitches, and it looks like someone is up, starting just to walk around. No one throwing yet, but just a few bodies moving around out there in the Michigan pen, perhaps stretching.
Yeah, possibly looking to come in for this 6th inning, assuming Michigan could get out of this one without needing assistance. But and still struggling on the on the grounds crew.
The umpire has stepped out and is just standing and watching as 4 people are down there dealing with the batter's box. It's the right-handed batter's box. And they're kind of scuffing everything, and now I think they got it fixed.
Yeah.
And so Zaid Walker will come into the batter's box in just a moment. The umpire is saying, not yet, let's wait for a moment. Mazer is down on his knees, ready to go. And now they're telling Walker to get out of here, sending him back towards bench. Oh, they're going to let Denner do some warm-up pitches, as it's been a few minutes now.
It has. And it is Jack White in the pin. No throwing yet, but he is warming up and some stretching. The left-handed pitcher out of Athens, Georgia.
Looks like he's doing a little bit with his left hand. Now he put the glove on. They got a catcher down there ready for him to start warming up. Walker will step in now. Iverson down there at second. 3-0. Michigan State on top. And Denner again needs to figure out how he can stem the bleeding right here. Checks back at second. Now they're going to throw back. Iverson dives in. 8 hits now for the Spartans through 5 innings, or 4 2/3 rather. Still waiting to get that fifth inning officially. No walks though. It's been all hits. Spartans haven't had a lot of issues making contact here today. There's a called strike, and that's probably the issue that Denner will look at when he looks back at the outing here today, is that he was in strikeout situations and was giving up way too much contact. The wind-up and the 0-1 coming. There's a ball, 1-1.
And it is 8 hits for Michigan State compared to the 1 for Michigan. So despite the less than ideal outing, Denner's getting very little help from his offense today.
1-1, swing and a miss. And now it's 1-2. One-two count, and this one is popped foul. It will tail out of play and bounce just beyond the fence, and some of those people who've been standing along the railing can chase after it. Count 1-2. Zaid Walker 0 for 2 today. Strikeout swinging and ground out to second. Denner sets.
Iverson's taking quite a generous lead from second.
This one is swung on and hit, and that will get into center field. Bullock grabs it. Going to be a play at the plate. Not going to be in time. Throw a little high and a little late. And Iverson slides in. That's an RBI single for Zaid Walker, and now it is 4-0 in favor of the Spartans.
And once again, we're seeing the late half of the inning get away from Jacob Dinner. He is great at getting those first 2 outs down. He just can't find that third one.
And again, another 2-strike count where he's ahead in the count. That's now the 9th hit of the day for MSU as Vredenberg is ready to step in.
It is currently 4-0 Michigan State after that run comes in.
There's a swing and a foul off.
So I think that last run might be the deciding factor for pulling Dinner after this inning.
Well, he's now approaching 90 pitches, an 0-1 count. That one inside, 1-1. One count. There's the pitch. Missed the zone, 2-1.
And Michigan should be a little bit worried because they have the 7th, 8th, and 9th batter who started a rally in the second inning coming up next.
2-1 count. Called strike.
Dinner hasn't gotten too many called strikes this afternoon, but he gets that one there, bringing it to 2-2 with 2 outs and a runner on first base.
Two, and there's a swing and a miss to end the inning. Vredenberg is sat down, but 2 more runs come home, and Michigan's bats have a lot of work to do as we are halfway through this ball game. Our score, Michigan State 4, Michigan nothing. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports. Now the story for Michigan will be, can they find an answer and give support to their pitching staff, because they have not done much against Berghorst today. 1 hit through 4 innings.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. They have gotten some base runners either through like fielder's choice, hit by pitch, other means, but that 1 hit is really what's going to matter at the end of the day. Because like without hits you can't win. even if you find other ways to manufacture base runners, you still need to find a way to bring them on in. And looks like the grounds crew is out there again, fiddling with the left batter's box once again. So I guess they didn't quite finish the job during that long intermission, but they're stomping down on it. Looks like the grounds crew is trying to finish this up. That is something that you don't even have to worry about. Oh, it looks like the batter's box might be ripped. So they might need to get a new one for the Monday game, the game 2 of this doubleheader, or two-game series, rather. But just one of the few problems that you don't need with a natural field, with natural dirt and natural grass.
Well, we are now at the 5:30 hour, and right on pace for a 3-hour baseball game. But Michigan would like it to be a bit longer.
Longer for parts of it,
Parts of it.
not for others. But you're absolutely right. Coming up this inning, it's the back end of the Michigan Wolverine lineup, the 7, 8, 9. And unlike the Michigan State lineup that has seen success today, all 3 of these are 0 for 1 in their first way through the lineup, first time through the lineup. And Berghorst is coming out once again. He's at 59 pitches through 4 innings, so he was racked up quite a bit of a pitch count in that first inning but has really brought it down since then, getting quick outs from Michigan, and even when surrendering some base runners, doing it quickly.
There's a pitch high to begin this inning. Jake Marty, 7-8-9, Marty, Bertram, Bullock. Another ball, 2-0.
And Jake Marty, his first time up, he got a fly out to right field.
This one is fouled back, 2-1.
And now I'm seeing movement in both pins. So we saw Michigan warming someone up. Now Michigan State has someone stretching as well.
And that pitch misses. 3-1 now. Michigan would love to get the leadoff runner aboard for the first time today. Marty ahead, 3-1 in the count.
And I do notice how both on offense and defense, batting and pitching, Michigan's bench, their dugout, is much more enthusiastic than the Michigan State
3-2
dugout.
Trying to will their bats back into this game.
Yeah. Like the Michigan team, they're up at the top of the fence. None of that from Michigan State.
3-2 coming. Strike three call. Looked like on the inner edge. Marty started one step towards first, and then the umpire rang him up. And that is going to be another strikeout for Berghorst. Or actually, that'll be his first strikeout of the day. Yep, that's his first, looking at the scorebook. Comes with one out now here in the fifth. And a 4-0 lead behind him.
With Bertram at the plate as well.
Bertram shows bunt, lays it down the first base side. Getting to it is Berghorst. Underhand flip for the quick out.
Michigan trying to manufacture anything, but that was not it for them. Pretty solid bunt, but could have been better if he would have been safe at first. A bit too much speed on it, and Berghorst had no trouble scooping it up and flipping it to the first baseman.
And now Bullock steps in and takes a called strike.
Bullock at the tail end of this lineup, looking to make something happen.
0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2.
That pitch was quite wide, but he locked and loaded before the pitch even came in, it looked like.
Oh, 0-2 count. The windup and the pitch. Swung and fouled off. Berghorst trying to get another quick inning. Next pitch will be pitch 70. Michigan State could maybe stretch him through 6 if he can get this out. Unsure, obviously, what his pitch limits are. 2 outs, nobody on in the bottom of the fifth. 0-2 count. That one high. Michigan State leads Michigan 4-0 in this game. Hasn't been much to talk about for the Wolverines. They got a base runner through a hit by pitch in the first, single and a walk in the third. That's it. No base runners in the second, none in the fourth, and right now, none here in the fifth. 1-2 coming. Just missed.
And that really fired up the Michigan dugout, too.
I think they might be a little aggravated about the Marty strikeout.
Yeah.
And then not ringing him up there. Trying to find some inconsistency, perhaps. 2-2 count. Berghorst winds up, and that pitch is down and in. 3-2 the count.
Kind of skipped on its way over to the plate. And we got a full count for the ninth batter, Christian Bullock. And Bullock, he is a senior. I'm curious, do you imagine he'll get drafted this season?
Probably not. 3-2, and that one hit foul. Definitely a guy that could potentially come back for a 5th year.
It's a good point, though. One of the few upsides of this COVID situation is it really has revolutionized the player limits and the eligibility, which for big programs like Michigan has been great.
3-2 missed inside, and Bullock will go down to first.
He was
Two-out base runner.
Real quick to flip that bat over. It looked like he might have done it before even the ball came on into the mitt. But he'll take any way he can to get on with the leadoff batter, Elliott, coming up to the plate. He has had a big weekend, but nothing much tonight. He's 1 for 2.
Well, he does have Michigan's one single, so there's that. Bullock down there at first, and again, you have to wonder if Michigan will get a little bit aggressive.
And Bullock's going to take off his shin pad, his shin guard, for his base running. He is one of Michigan's faster players, so he's a good asset to have on base when they need to make something happen.
And he goes right away. Got a good jump, but the throw down is in time. That's a really nice throw from behind the plate. Sotris, and right down, looked like might have got him on the back as he was sliding in, and that ends the inning. Michigan gets a walk, but won't leave anyone as he is thrown out trying to steal.
I appreciate the guts of sending him. We both of us knew how fast he is, so if you want to send anyone on Michigan, he would be the guy, especially with the leadoff batter at the plate and you're down 4 and you need to jump start something. Unfortunately, this did not work out. And we have the white stripes playing for Jack White, the left-handed relief pitcher coming out to the mound.
He will enter, and Denner's day is done. Give you his final line here. He goes 5 innings, allows 9 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, no walks, and 4 strikeouts for Denner. He's the pitcher of record at the moment. His ERA on the season now sits at 5.4. It was definitely an outing that showed some good things and some bad things. Obviously collects the 4 strikeouts, and for stretches of this game he looked very confident in command. And obviously no walks is a plus, but just too much contact, too many pitches, especially when he was ahead in counts, found the plate, and that allowed MSU to really take advantage and knock him out of this game after 5 with a 4-0 lead intact.
And in between the 5th and the 6th inning, the grounds crew took another look at that left batter's box. Hopefully now it's settled for good. But it seems like every break they get, they'll trying to make it fixed.
White has pitched 4 innings this season, 1 hit, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. He pitched a little bit in the 2019 season and then was roughed up in his limited appearances last year, but has been pretty solid so far. The walk may be the issue thus far in his season, but yet to allow an earned run, and Michigan's going to need some solid innings from him.
Yeah, for those just tuning in or those just watching on BTN Plus, it is 4-0 Michigan State on this Sunday afternoon, Sunday, March 21st, the second day of spring, in this beautiful day with the weather to show for it.
Well, White will get ready to take the mound, and he'll get the bottom of the order with Sotris, who just made that excellent throw from behind the plate to end the preceding half inning. We'll get to start here as we get rolling in the top half of the 6th. Wind up in the pitch there from White is high. Another lefty in this game for Michigan following Denner. One-0 misses 2-0. Sotris had the double that began the two-run second inning, or with 2 outs rather, began the rally in that inning, and grounded out to third his last time up, 1 for 2 on the day. 2-0 finds the strike zone for the first time this afternoon.
And White's looking to get a strong start to his outing.
And this one is swung on and hit into right field for a base hit. Sotris comes up swinging and pounds a single into right field. We'll say that these windows in front of us are really doing a good job of sort of darkening the surroundings, because if you step out onto the sort of deck area, it is a very, very bright day.
And on that last hit, Bertram was shifted over quite a bit to the left, and if he were in regular position, he might have even been able to get a ground out, but alas, he was not.
Now bunt shown. Michigan dugout recognizes that and calls it out, and it's put foul. Runner Sotris down there at first to lead off the 6th.
Michigan State is in a fine position right now, leading 4-0 with a runner on base and no outs.
0-1 count, bunt shown again, pulled back as the ball dives down and away.
This does seem, we've seen a lot of bunts being shown from Michigan State this afternoon. And this seems like, at least with my baseball knowledge, should be probably the best situation for it. No outs and a runner on first. Might want to manufacture something.
1-1, lays it down. Molfetta comes in from third. Gloves is going to have to make a quick throw down to first, and he does. Runner moves up to second on the play as Jeb gets the sacrifice. And that'll bring up Bailey Peterson now, with a runner on second and 1 out in the top of the 6th.
And Peterson is the 9th batter of in the lineup. So following him, it'll go back to the leadoff spot with Farquhar. And that's bad news for the Michigan Wolverines.
First pitch bounces in to Peterson. Mazer gets in front of it. Sotris now on second.
And Michigan State continues to dominate the hits column. 10 hits compared to the Wolverines 1.
Pretty one-sided so far. That pitch misses 2-0 now on Bailey Peterson. Peterson singled in a run in the second and then hit a ball out to center field that Bullock was able to track down in left center. 1 for 2 today. The wind-up and the 2-0 called strike. Shadows not too bad right now, but that'll change within the next hour as the sun will begin to move out towards right field. At the moment, you have the center field wall being shaded and right field as well, as there's a called strike 2-2, but nothing covering any of the Michigan fielders at the moment.
Yeah, the batter's eye is impeding quite a bit, but that's about it.
2-2 count. Peterson, the righty, against White, the lefty. Runner on second, 1 out in the inning. And that one is, I think, swung on and missed. Yep, they're now having to tag out the runner, as there was a lot of confusion on whether that was foul tipped or not. And now finally the strikeout is completed. The ball was just kind of sitting there, and Peterson wasn't moving and Michigan wasn't moving, and then finally he realized that he needed to run down to first to try and complete the play, and White chased him down. So now 2 outs in the inning. We flipped to the top. Trent Farquhar comes to the plate. He's 1 for 3 today.
And in the confusion, too, the runner was unable to advance for Michigan State. So practically a strikeout.
That one is swung on and missed. 0-1 the count.
And with the runner in scoring position, Farquhar just needs to get it to land anywhere.
That one swung on and missed. Now the count runs to 0-2. White trying to navigate this 6th inning and send his bats back to the plate to try and chip into this Michigan State 4-0 advantage. 0-2 count, the windup and the pitch, and swung on and missed. And that will be a strike 3. Second strikeout picked up by White. Gives up a single, but strands the runner. And we head to the bottom of the 6th. Our score still Michigan State 4 and Michigan nothing. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports.
Yeah, as we go into the 6th inning, the bottom of the 6th, Michigan Wolverines would like to make something happen sooner rather than later. I know that's kind of idealistic for them. But pretty solid showing from Jack White. Will Proctor is warming up in the pen. So inconclusive what the next inning will foretell for Michigan's pitching. But I could definitely imagine White getting the nod for another one.
And Berghorst back out for another inning. This may be his last. He's at 75 pitches. We'll see what holds for Michigan's offense to see if they can finally figure him out.
And Berghorst, he is in position for the win. He's also bearing 3 or more runs given up this inning. He's in position for the quality starts.
Well, and you know, Berghorst, when we look at the projected starters from the weekend coming in, he actually had the lowest ERA among the projected starters for the weekend, even lower than MSU's ace, Mason Erla, but Erla's dominant start on Friday was able to lower his ERA a bit. But so has Berghorst today with his 5 shutout innings thus far and just a hit and 2 walks allowed and only 1 strikeout. That's the other thing, is that Michigan hasn't been overpowered or even deceived, really. They've just been putting the balls in play and have not been finding any spots at the moment.
Absolutely.
And Clark Elliott leads off by hitting this one into the outfield, right center field, going back to the track, to the wall, and making the catch there in center field is Stewart, and another 1 pitch out for Michigan's offense.
And that could have been dangerous for the outfielders because it was quite well hit. And as you mentioned, the shadows are beginning to creep onto the right field along the warning track. So you never know with those and the shadows whether it's a guarantee or not.
That brings up Griffin Mazer, the only Wolverine hitter not to be recorded out today. He also doesn't have a hit either. A hit by pitch and a walk. Squares for a potential bunt and pulls it back. Michigan, we saw Riley Bertram bunt in the last inning, and they are just sputtering at the moment.
Trying to make anything happen, it seems like. And when it's not working with hits, I guess bunts are the next best opportunity.
0-1 off the plate, 1-1.
Yeah, for those just tuning in as well, it has been very one-sided in the hits column, with Michigan only getting 1 all afternoon.
1-1, swung on and hit by Mazer in the air, but it will tail foul and out of play. He's now behind 1-2, and really it's just been the dominant pitching of Adam Berghorst that has given the Spartans a primary engine of success today. And their batters have done enough to give themselves 4 runs through 6. And a comfortable lead at the moment. 1-2 to Mazer, and he gets a piece of that one again, putting it foul. Flores waiting on deck. Berghorst is now past the 80-pitch threshold with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Winds up, and the 1-2 on the way. Another foul. Mazer battling at the moment.
And you mentioned he has yet to have a recorded at-bat, either a hit or otherwise an out with the walk and the hit by pitch. Let's see if he could keep that up or potentially get a hit.
1-2, and this one is swung and hit into center field for a base hit, and that's what Michigan needs to just start getting some offense in this game.
And with that 1 out, as Flores comes to the plate, 1 runner on base, I'm curious whether or not he will be itching to steal for advance.
I don't think you really need to. I mean, you're down 4 runs. I think the objective should be to keep the base runner, as opposed to running into an out like they did in the last half inning.
We've seen Berghorst get quite nervous with any base runners on. Fortunately for him, not too many.
And there's a swing and a ball hit into left field. Tito Flores, first pitch swinging, and he turns on that one. And suddenly, Michigan's now got 2 runners on and only 1 out in this inning.
And as the cleanup hitter, Obertop comes to the plate with 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position. This is Michigan's best chance all afternoon to get a run on the scoreboard.
2 on and 1 out. They had 2 on in the 3rd, but that was with 2 outs. Weren't able to score in that situation, and now we can have a conversation on the mound. Not sure if we'll have just a chat or a potential pitching change. The whole infield is going to come in and converge. And he does signal to the bullpen. Looks like we will be having a pitching change. Berghorst will exit. 5 1/3 inning is his duration for today. Allows 3 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. He's responsible for the runners on first and second, and we have to wait and see who will be coming in. He's trotting from right field at the moment. The numbers are a little tough to make out on these MSU uniforms.
Yeah, the green and it's that blue lettering with like a green coloring
on the charcoal.
Charcoal.
He hasn't turned his back on us yet.
I can't make out the number on the front of his chest yet either.
Well, we'll wait to hear what the stadium PA says in a moment. It's a right-hander.
.31, so that is William Christopherson from Iowa.
From Bettendorf, Iowa.
Bettendorf, Iowa. I'm not familiar with that
It's
town.
one of the Quad Cities.
He comes to the mound with 2 runners on. However, he's not responsible for either of them, obviously. In this 4-0 game, he has a lead as well. So it's not quite a save or a hold situation. For him, it's a 4-run lead instead of 3, but he could still be great help to his team and the Michigan State Spartans in this effort to get this win in this intra-state rivalry.
How many of the other Quad Cities can you name?
I honestly don't know my Iowa geography very well at all. I guess, is Des Moines one of them?
No, Des Moines in the center of the state. The Quad Cities are along the river between Illinois and Iowa.
Yeah, I can't name. I don't think.
Bettendorf and Davenport, Iowa, and Moline and Rock Island, Illinois. Those are
the more you know.
There you go. Obertop ready to check in. 2 on and 1 out as Christopherson, whose name is too long for that scoreboard.
It just looks like Christopher's. Yeah.
Yeah. Obertop had the big day on Friday with the 2 home runs. Be a good time for one here.
Yeah.
First pitch comes up high. 1-0. Got to reset the scoreboard. The scoreboard guy has been sharper today than he was on Friday. But right now the scoreboard reads 2-2. It's really 1-0. That pitch to from Christopherson is taken for a strike by Obertop. Count evens at 1 apiece. Mazer on second, Flores on first.
With 1 out as well in this, as Michigan State leads 4-0. Michigan's knocking on the door, however, with a runner on second.
1-1 count. Christopherson looks back, and yeah, it took a long time there, and umpire called time. Obertop asked for time rather than the umpire granted it. And there is the possibility of a double steal with runners on first and second, but Mazer is the lead runner, has not attempted a steal, and he would be the one having to go to third. So I don't think it's super likely at this juncture. And again, Michigan's down 4 runs. They need to preserve all the outs they can get right now. If you were down 1 run, it could make more sense. But 1-1 count. And the pitch, and Obertop swings and hits this one foul. Count now 1-2. The sun is just a little bit away from peeking out from over the overhang right in front of us, and that will be very interesting when the sun gets in our face, as well as the batter. Seeing more of it right now, but as it will continue to settle down, it gets more and more of the field. 1-2 count. That pitch way high, 2-2. Michigan really didn't do much the first 5 innings. Had a little bit of action with 2 runners in the third, but that was a 2-out rally. This time, back-to-back singles chase Berghorst, who they could not figure out. And now Christopherson into the game, pitching in a big situation and a 4-0 lead behind him. 2-2 coming. Off speed, called strike 3 on the outer edge. Obertop just looks at it, and he is sat down for the 3rd time today. That's a big strikeout for Christopherson.
And despite the successful outing from Berghorst, he didn't rack up that many strikeouts. I believe he only had 1. Is that right?
Yes.
So then this is tied. He's only had 1 batter, and he's already tied the strikeout record of the game.
Well, now that'll bring up Molfetta to be the one to try and get this Michigan team on the board. First pitch taken for a called strike. You can hear some of the MSU parents that are in attendance clapping a little bit after that called strike 1.
This must be their favorite road trip all season, probably the quickest to go to.
That one is swung on and hit by Molfetta into center field on the run, back towards the track, towards the wall, and making the play in center field is Stewart. Molfetta put a big charge into that one and just going to come up short. Michigan gets 2 hits, but they strand them both, and they still trail 4-0 now as we chug in to the 7th inning between Michigan and Michigan State. We've seen good defense from the Spartans today in the outfield, and that is a fine play from Stewart. He records 2 outs in that inning.
Yeah, Stewart went down onto his knees almost to make that catch. He was moving quick, but he made sure to show the umpire his glove with the ball inside. He had no chance of losing control on that one.
Well, Jack White goes back out to warm up for another inning. We'll bring you some more scores. Syracuse leads West Virginia 35-27 in the final minute of the first half. They're in that NCAA tournament game. Final scores in Big Ten baseball. Northwestern officially beat Minnesota 10-3. Nebraska toppled Iowa 13-8. And Indiana knocked off Purdue 9-4. Tonight at 7, in just 1 hour's time, is the NCAA Men's Ice Hockey Tournament Selection Show, where Michigan Hockey will learn they will be playing this weekend, either on Friday or Saturday.
If you had to speculate, what seed do you think they got a 2 seed in them?
Either a 2 or a 3.
2
that
or
would be
3.
my guess. There's already controversy today on Selection Day as the St. Lawrence hockey team had a positive COVID test today, and they will be ineligible for the NCAA hockey tournament. Similar thing to happen last night to VCU in the men's basketball tournament. Very unfortunate developments.
Yeah, a 2 seed for the Michigan's ice hockey team would be huge, especially after they played against Minnesota last week.
White's first pitch is a swing and a miss by Bryce Kelly. Jack White pitching in that 6th. Surrendered a leadoff single, picked up a couple strikeouts, and worked through the inning. Trying to just keep Michigan in this game. And this one rolled over to first. Glove there by Marty. That'll go down as a ground out to first, unassisted. Now Joe Stewart due up for the Spartans, and he has had himself a day. 3 for 3, a pair of singles and a double, in addition to that good defensive play to track down the ball off Malfetta's bat to end the 6th.
And White in an inning and a third, he only has 18 pitches.
Yep, working efficiently. Jack White, the lefty.
And 2 strikeouts as well in those 4 recorded outs.
Michigan today 1 for 6 with runners on. MSU 5 for 13. It's a big story of how they've been able to get in this game, as it hasn't been home runs, but timely hitting and 2-out rallies. All 4 runs coming after Michigan had 2 outs and nobody on in the inning. Denner just let things get away. 2-0 is a called strike on the outer edge to Stewart, 2-1.
And Stewart, he is 3 for 3 this afternoon.
Yep.
So he is looking to keep that up.
That pitch bounces in, 3-1. White works quickly, winds up, 3-1 coming, and this is swung and rocketed backwards and out of play. The line score looks pretty barren today. A 2 in the 2nd and a 2 in the 5th for MSU, and every other half inning are zeros right now. 3-2 count here on Stewart. White winds up, and that pitch called strike 3. And for the first time today, Joe Stewart is out.
And with that, 3 strikeouts and 5 outs and an inning and 2/3 for Jack White. His efficiency is quite impressive.
He's now up to 9 strikeouts in 5 2/3 on this young season. A reliable arm at the moment for Eric Bakich. Now he faces Zach Iverson and delivers a called strike. Iverson 1 for 3 today, had an RBI double in the 5th that brought home Michigan State's 3rd run. Then he scored their 4th after Zaid Walker singled. 0-1 on the way. That pitch misses. 1-1 quickly. 2 outs for White in this inning, and that's what you want out of your bullpen. Just quick half innings, let your bats go back up there. Michigan's offense just showed their closest thing to a rally thus far today in that bottom of the 6th. Pitch outside 2-1.
And that last pitch, 89 miles per hour. So he's certainly showing the speed.
2-1 count. That one is swung and chopped foul, 2-2. One strike away from wrapping up a quick top of the 7th. White, the ball in the glove right in front of him at the letters. Winds up and delivers this one, and it's chopped into fair territory, but they say it was foul before it moved back into fair play. So White will do it again.
Michigan would have been all over that if that were in fair play. They had both the catcher and the pitcher immediately jump right to it.
2-2 count. That pitch bounces in, 3-2.
To a full count for Jack White against Zach Iverson, looking to get out of this inning unscathed with 23 pitches and 2 innings so far.
Full count and another foul. This has been a nice and long at-bat for Zach Iverson, just battling.
And after Iverson would be Walker, who had a big-time play in that 5th inning.
3-2 is down and outside. So I thought that was the 3-2.
Yeah, it looks like...
Yeah, it is, but
the
the batter was the one who didn't know it was 3-2 because Iverson was just standing there, and then the umpire had to tell him that he had just drawn a walk. And then he trots down there. That was weird. Yeah. Zaid Walker now comes up.
Usually you see the reverse where the batter's too eager on maybe a 2-2. They take first base instead of full count. And it was a full count, too. He hard effort to draw that.
First pitch to Walker is high. Yeah, definitely a nice long at-bat there.
Oh, and looks like the Jumbotron is having a bit of a malfunction out there.
Yeah, now it's just showing all blue.
Maybe it's their way of saying go blue.
Yeah.
For the Wolverines.
1-0 on the way. There's a strike. The line, the manual scoreboard, sort of with the old digital numbers, as well as the little strip that has the pitcher and the velocity, that's still working, but it's the large screen that normally has the lineup with the batter face and the stats has lost the will to live at the moment. That ball is ripped down the left field line into the corner. Getting towards it is Flores. They're waving the runner around third. Throw into the cutoff man, relay to the plate, not going to be in time, and it's 5-0 Spartans, and another 2-out hit, this time from Zaid Walker with an RBI double, and these Spartans are just deadly with 2 outs.
And Flores, he overshot the cutoff man a little bit on that one, and it took a very costly bounce that Michigan, Bergstrom was there to get it, but the time it took for the bounce cost any chance of getting that out. And with that double, Walker, he has 2 RBIs today.
Yep. And Michigan State's got themselves a 5-0 lead.
And once again, the run is scored with 2 outs.
There's a swing and a ball chopped foul. All started because of that really good at-bat from Zach Iverson.
Absolutely. He brought it up to full. He fouled off a couple and then finally found his pitch, although he didn't realize it as first. It took him a couple seconds to take his base.
That one is swung and stroked into left field. Not going to be enough for a run, but there was contact made between the third baseman, Molfetta, and the base runner over there at third. Just going to stay at third for now. Not going to award him an obstruction, I don't think.
They're going to have a bit of a
conversation
conference
for the Michigan State coaching staff.
The obstruction
did not look intentional, but there was contact.
Yeah, so coming, rounding the base, Walker was obviously trying to get to third, and Molfetta was trying to get in a good position for a cutoff if he would have gone, but the throw was pretty early. I don't even think he would have gone, but
no, he was not being waved around. The stop sign was up. Now the conversation has been had, and I think they're just going to keep the runner at third. But with that 2-out single, here's your incredible stat of the game. Michigan State with 2 outs today, 10 for 16.
Wow.
10 of their 12 hits have come with 2 outs in this game.
That is quite impressive.
Including 2 more here in this inning.
So the Jumbotron is back up.
Someone resuscitated it. And now we're going to have a conversation, I think perhaps a pitching change. We'll see.
Yeah, that's dangerous, keeping him in with runners on the corners, especially in this 5-run game. It's obviously not close, but in any more than 5, it's really tough to get back from. 5 is the threshold of maybe salvaging this game in the last 3 innings. And they are going to call to the bullpen for the Wolverines, and let's see which number comes on out.
Looks to be a right-hander.
And earlier Proctor was warming up. Is that Proctor?
We haven't seen the number yet.
Yep, that is Will Proctor, the junior from Manhattan Beach, California. Gave up the sunshine for cold Michigan.
Well, and he was at Georgia last season. Grad transfer to Michigan. Has been very good so far this year. Pitched in the game on Friday. He's now sporting 3 1/3 innings on the season. Just 1 hit allowed, no walks, 3 strikeouts, and no runs thus far. And again, you look at Jack White in this game, a really good outing through 1 2/3, and then things just spiraled with a walk, a double, and a single. White's day is now done. He allows 3 hits, 1 walk, records 1 2/3 innings, 3 strikeouts. Already 1 run charged to him, and he's responsible for the base runners on first and third as Proctor gets his warm-up pitches in.
Yeah, and Proctor, he has yet to give up an earned run this season. Only 3.1 innings pitched, so not a huge sample size, but regardless, that is quite impressive for a relief pitcher. And neither of those runners will be responsible to him, so it would be quite unlikely that he gets a home run could give him an earned run. But he has the chance to save Michigan from this jam they are in now, and then potentially even pitch into the 8th. And you mentioned coming from Georgia, too. That's got to be a bit of a transition. Big Ten offenses versus SEC batters.
Yeah. He'll be facing Gabe Sotras. Runners on the corners in 2 outs. Mazer standing in front of home plate. He's about to put the mask back on and get ready to roll. As Sotras, the right-hander, will face the righty Proctor. This is Michigan's first right-handed pitcher of the day. They now trail 5-0.
And Sotras started the rally in the 2nd inning that gave Michigan State their first 2 runs.
Sotras takes a ball, 1-0. He is 2 for 3 on the day. The Spartans now up to 12 hits. They've left 6 on base.
Yep, including a run as well.
1-0 on the way. That one also misses. 2-0.
And not quite the start that Proctor was looking for the first 2 pitches, but he's looking to get settled in.
2-0 misses, now 3-0. In danger of walking the bases loaded.
And then Mitch Jebb comes up next. He had that electric triple in the second inning to get the first run of the night, the first run of the afternoon to come on in.
3-0 on the way. There he finds the zone, 3-1. 86.75 miles an hour on that delivery.
Quite impressed with the precision of this radar gun.
No rounding from this radar gun.
Not at all.
That swing and a miss. 3-2, or at least not in the 10th or 100th place.
And with that, two straight pitches, and they're back into the full count. So he could get out of this jam with 1 pitch. I guess he could have anyway, but
that
1 strike.
True. The windup and the pitch. Runner goes from first, and he swings and misses there. So Proctor comes in, stops the Michigan State offense, allowing only 1 run in the inning to the Michigan pitchers and bailing White out. But again, a long road back now for the Michigan offense. They need 5 runs at least before 9 outs are recorded.
And that was a big out right there for Proctor. Next inning, he will face off against the 8th and the 9th batter, in this Michigan State lineup with Jebb and who is the 9th batter?
Jebb, Peterson,
and then Farquhar to lead them off. So that will be big for him, having to face 8-9-1 instead of possibly 9-1-2 next inning.
Christopherson will stay out there as Spartans continue to go for the kill in this game. He's now sitting at 7 2/3 innings on the year, 6 hits, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts, just 1 run allowed for a sterling 1.17 ERA. The sun now continuing to exacerbate the shadows. The right fielder, Walker, is standing just in front of the shadows from the right field scoreboard. The center field shadows are now pushed into left center and are swallowing up a good chunk of that area.
And pretty soon the sun's going to be behind the big house, too. Might take a little bit, but eventually.
6:19 the time, Eastern time. 63 degrees. It'll drop into the 40s into the 30s overnight, but that's a long way away. Sunset not till 7:48, and it really isn't till the sun goes down that the temperature will really drop here in Ann Arbor, as it's continued to be very warm. Good weather for this game here today, but Michigan just hasn't had much to cheer about so far. The 6th inning was their best offensively. They got a couple singles off of Berghorst, but then were promptly shut down by Christopherson, although Molfetta came close to really making this game interesting with that fly ball to center. Pitch high to Benjamin Sems. Sems, Marty, and Bertram. Christopherson winds up, delivers that pitch outside.
An early 2-0 count for Sims. Certainly a good start for him if he wants to get a rally going.
The windup and the 2-0. There's a strike on the outer edge, 2-1.
Just barely grazed the edge of the plate on that one.
Sems 0 for 2 today with a pair of flyouts, 1 to left, 1 to center. 2-1, and he swings and hits this one into left field. But plenty of room there for Kelly.
So it's third straight flyout of the evening, of the afternoon. And all of them had power. All of them went to the outfield, but not quite enough to get over the fence. Neither team has yet to get over the fence today.
Jake Marty ready to step in. Here's a question for you. At what point does afternoon become evening?
It's tough. I'd say like golden hour. So like when it gets all like yellow and orangey. So not quite yet.
The sun is what the telling is, or is
Oh
it
yeah,
time?
absolutely. It depends. Like it could be 4 p.m. in December. It could be 9 p.m. in June.
There's a pitch, chopped foul, 0-1. Marty, lefty hitter, against the righty Christopherson. 0-2 is Jake Marty today. Struck out looking his last time up. He was Berghorst's only strikeout of the day, and there's a quick strike from Christopherson. Ahead 0-2 in the count.
And this inning, it's the 6th, 7th, and 8th batter for Michigan, so less than ideal to kickstart a rally.
0-2 the count. The windup and the pitch. Swing and popped into the air, left side, backing up. There are the third baseman and the shortstop, Jeb and Iverson, and the play is made out of the air for the second out. Pop out.
And Marty was really showcasing his speed. Even though it was like a pop fly and it was pretty routine, he was already on second by the time it was caught. So in the off chance maybe the sun got in his eyes a little bit and it dropped, he would have had a double out of that one.
He was hustling. Now Riley Bertram comes to the plate.
Bertram 0-2 today.
It's the case for a lot of guys as he pounds that one foul.
Yeah, I'm looking through the roster. It's the first three batters, 1-3, 1-1, 1-3. And then it's just complete goose eggs for the rest of the lineup. 0-3, 0-3, 0-3, 0-3, 0-2, and then 0-1 for Bullock because he had that walk, but then got picked off.
0-1 the count on Bertram. 2 outs here in the 7th. Nobody aboard. Takes a ball 1-1. We'll be interested to see how long they ride Christopherson, but he's really dialed in right now. He's recorded 4 straight outs to begin his performance. 1-1 count. This is swung and popped in the air by Bertram. We'll see if there's room behind home plate. Moving back is the catcher, Sotris, and he watches it go into the stands. 1-2 the count.
And if Bertram, if Christopherson goes another inning, and without giving up a run, he has the opportunity to bring his ERA under 1, which is impressive at any level, but especially collegiate.
1-2 the count now. Christopherson winds up. The pitch, swing and a miss. That one's in the dirt. Sotris picks it up, makes the throw down. They tap the bag. And we head to the 8th inning. Nothing going for the Wolverines right now. And they trail still 5-0 at the hands of the Spartans. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports.
And Mitch Jebb is going to lead off for the Spartans. He's 1-2, but had the first RBI of the game with a triple, and then he was eventually hit in as well. So he's done his fair share. He alone actually would give him the win, possibly.
Yeah.
Because Michigan just unable to put anything up on offense. These two teams will have a following game, a sequel tomorrow.
We will have coverage of that one, both here on YouTube as well, simulcast on Big Ten Network. Plus, who do we have broadcasting the game?
It is Charlie Brigham, and let me look who will be doing it with him. It is Jared Bretcher. So
All
Charlie
right.
Brigham and Jared Bretcher have a great tandem coming to you from WCBN. So tune in. It is a weekday game.
Yeah, there's no midweek games this year like you would have normally, but that Monday game kind of functions as the old midweek game where you can use some more pitchers and
Yeah, with a four game weekend is tough.
well, Michigan's fortunate to not have any double headers, unlike the Spartans, obviously, who are playing one here today.
And the Illini too.
Yep. So ball inside to Jeb as we start this 8th inning.
This is a type of creativity in the scheduling you'd only get through COVID.
Yep.
With having a doubleheader between the Spartans and the Illini at Michigan Stadium or at Ann Arbor.
There's a strike 1-1 to Jeb. Proctor back out. He got that strikeout to conclude the 7th. 1-1 on the way. And again, Michigan right now, there's nobody up in the bullpen. They're going to ride Proctor, and you're again in a situation where tomorrow you have Blake Beers going, who has been a bit all over the place in his Michigan career as a starter. But if you need to really relieve him and send in the arms, you will have, again, a really well-rested bullpen to do so, as this one is chopped right over to first. They say it's fair, and Marty steps on the bag for a quick first out, and that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Peterson.
Heads up play, Marty checked his feet, made sure he was on the left side of that foul line when he went to catch it. And it would have been, our angle's kind of tough, but it would have been close regardless.
The umpire was all over it and signaled it was fair.
And tomorrow's game, they have 70 degrees in the forecast. I
Yep.
am jealous.
There's a ball.
Going to be at opening pitch, 68 degrees and partly cloudy. Wow. In March 22nd, who would have thought that?
Well, March is always sort of all over the place with the temperatures. Some days you get the warm ones, and this very easily could have been 43 degrees today, but we got lucky.
Yeah.
There's a ball to Peterson, now 2-0 on him.
What do they say? In like a lion, out like a lamb?
I think that's the phrase.
This month is certainly showing that. We had some snow the first week.
That one is swung on and hit well into right field. On the run are the Michigan outfielders back towards the track, and it's going to drop there. And stopping at second is Peterson, as Elliott and Bullock converged in right center. And that's a double for Peterson, another hit for the Spartans. That one surprisingly not with 2 outs. And that's their 13th hit overall of the day.
Yeah, and that was a solid rope right into the gap, and it bounced on 1 or 2 bounces. It found its way into the warning track. And the Wolverines are lucky only got 2 bases from that.
Trent Farquhar now will come back up. He's 1 for 4 today, a single in the second. And outside of that, a strikeout and a pair of groundouts. First pitch coming from Proctor. He lays that one down, and it will roll foul. Farquhar running it out down to first there.
Yeah, and that was a solid bunt. If it would have landed, he was well on his way to first base. He placed it right down the third base line. And Mazur would have had quite the effort to get an out, whether at third or at first on that one.
0-1 count. There's a called strike. 0-2.
And in this 8th inning, it looks like Michigan State's just on autopilot. Like they have a 5-run cushion, not actively being aggressive, but not taking anything for granted either.
Farquhar had asked for time. Now he steps back in. Proctor winds up, and that 0-2 pitch is inside, 1-2. We approach the 6:30 hour, actually just past 6:30. About 2.5 hours into this game as we play with 1 out at the top of the 8th, cruising along on pace to be around a 3-hour game, depending on how much fight Michigan has left in them. Farquhar swings and hits this one to right field, and it will tail foul.
And Proctor has yet to give up an earned run this season. The chance to break that up right now with a runner, Peterson, on base.
Farquhar, the lefty, against Proctor, the righty. The 1-2. That one bounces in 2-2.
And Farquhar, he's 1 for 4 on the afternoon, but he has a quite impressive batting average. He's batting .429 on the campaign. And it's still early. It's only 10 games in, but it's even for a 10-game stretch, that's impressive.
2-2 fouled off again. There is someone in the Michigan pen starting to warm up right now. Not at full throttle, but is throwing. Can't see the number at the moment, hidden behind the foul pole.
Or hidden by the light post.
That's correct, yeah.
And the lights are actually starting to turn on, speaking of the light post, at 6:32, I guess.
The windup and the 2-2. Outside, 3-2. These Spartan hitters have just been so patient today, taking their pitches, working at bats, and then striking in high-pressure situations.
And assuming the result holds for Michigan, a loss today would put them at 8-3 on the season.
There's a 3-2 count. There's the strike 3 call. 2 outs now in the inning. And that'll bring Bryce Kelly to the plate now, who is 0 for 4 today, the only Spartan hitter not to reach base thus far. He's got a pair of strikeouts and a pair of groundouts to short. Runner's still over there at second.
And Michigan, surprisingly, has seen a lot of success with the top of this lineup today. Farquhar only has 1 hit, and Bryce Kelly has none.
Kelly takes the first pitch off the plate a little inside, 1-0.
Kind of breaks down when you get to Stewart, who's 3 for 4 today and started 3 for 3.
1-0, swung on and popped foul. That one hit the roof over our heads. 1-1 count. Proctor gets right back on the bump. Wipes sweat off his forehead. Now in a crouched position, has the glove on his left thigh. Now stands back up straight, puts the glove in it, winds up, 1-1 coming. This one is swung and roped down the right field line. That will go into the corner. 1 run will score, headed to second and making the turn there and holding up is Bryce Kelly, but he finally gets his hit, and Michigan State's 14th hit today is his first, ensuring that everybody in the lineup now has reached base.
And with that, another run scored with 2 outs. The runner was put on with only 1 out, so I guess the pattern doesn't quite hold as we've expected. But that is the first earned run of the season for Will Proctor. And now his ERA shot up from 0.00 to 2.08. Still a very respective ERA, though.
Like to get out of this inning here as there's a strike to Stewart. Stewart has been a thorn in the side of Michigan all day. 3 for 4. Pair of singles and a double also struck out looking at the hands of Jack White. He was the second out of that 7th. Michigan State has now tallied a run in the 8th in addition to the one they scored in the 7th, chipping at the Michigan bullpen, and this one is hit into center field. They're waving the runner home. Throw to the plate is going to be not in time, and Bullock thought he had it. he was trotting and jumping, came running all the way into the infield. He's standing at the shortstop position right now. And he'll have to go way back out into the outfield, and now it's 7-0.
The throw had the speed and it had the timing, but it was just on the wrong side of the plate. It was in the left-handed batter's box, not the right-handed batter's box, which is needed with a runner coming in from third.
Well, it was definitely an interesting decision to send the runner home because, I mean, he was to it as the runner was basically hitting third, and he was running right up to it, coming in on a line. I thought they might have a chance to nab Kelly at the plate, but just not quite a good enough throw.
Kelly didn't even get that great of a jump either, too, so it was kind of shocking they sent him, but it paid off for Michigan State and the third base coach.
There's a swing and a miss by Iverson for the first strike.
Graham Sykes, the third base coach for Michigan State.
There's a swing and a miss, 0-2, which means the Spartans are now 12 for 19 with 2 outs in this game. 12 of their 15 hits have come with 2 outs. It's a .632 batting average in 2-out situations, just absolutely deadly.
Do you think that's going to be a problem for the Wolverine team this season, or is this just a one-off?
There's a swing and a miss from Proctor, and that'll end the inning. 2 runs come home on 3 hits, 1 left for the Spartans. They're now up 7-0 and 6 outs away from putting this one away. Yeah, I think that 2-out hitting a lot of times can be random and variable, certainly opponent to opponent. I think for Denner, he'll definitely have some things to work on, but they also just ran into a really good offense today. At least one that's playing very well at the moment.
Yeah, they're in the middle of the Big Ten standing-wise, but that shouldn't undercut their talent. A win today would put them up into a winning record at 6-5, have them tied with Illinois, and percentage-wise slightly less, but the same amount of wins as Rutgers and Nebraska.
And we're still, very early into the season. This will mark the quarter stretch of the season for Michigan. This is their 11th game. This is a 44-game Big Ten regular season. And the reality of baseball is that it's the ultimate marathon, not a sprint, which is the reality of why the MLB's one-game wild card game is so cruel, is that baseball teams are never crowned based on what they do in one individual game, but rather over the long course of a season. Yeah. So you can only draw so many conclusions from one game here today.
Well, then talk to Billy Beane and his his sabermetrics. He could win 103 games, but he can't win a playoff series. But you're right. The teams that win in the playoffs, not always the teams that win in the regular season. They sometimes overlap, but don't get me wrong. But that 1999 Mariners team comes to mind. I think they set the record for most wins in the season.
I think that was 01, not
Is that
99,
01?
But regardless, yes.
They set the record and then just fizzled out in the playoffs.
Well, in Michigan baseball themselves, as Bullock steps in to begin the bottom of the 8th, are kind of examples of that in 2019. I mean, they were a very good team towards the top of the Big Ten Conference, but squandered their opportunity to win the regular season title outright, didn't win the Big Ten tournament, were kind of languishing on the bubble, came kind of close to missing the tournament if Jordan Woku doesn't have the walk-off hit against Illinois in Omaha in the Big Ten tournament, as that one is swung on and hit by Bullock right to first, bobbled by the first baseman, and Bullock is going to slide head first and beat it out, and then that one is thrown away by
the
first baseman, Braden Berg, trying to pitch it to the pitcher, Christopherson, who was covering, but that'll put a Michigan leadoff runner aboard with nobody out here in the 8th inning. We'll see how they score that one. I would have to think it'll be probably an error on the first baseman.
I would imagine, because he fumbled the scoop. But it might not have been pretty, but Bullock found his way to first safely.
Still waiting on the scoring decision. Now the error is put up there. It'll be an E3. Point I was making was that, Michigan then in the postseason just turned it on, as there's a called strike to Clark Elliott with Their run through the Corvallis Regional, the Los Angeles Super Regional, the College World Series, and winning the first game of the College World Series Championship Series against Vanderbilt. Sometimes teams just figure it out late in a season, and this year obviously a very odd season, 44 games, all against the Big Ten. No midweek MAC games, no non-conference against Pac-12 or SEC as Elliott takes a ball high.
Yeah, and that Michigan 2019 squad was something special because they had the arms and they had the pin to go deep into the postseason, and they had the clutchness and the power when needed, which that's a...
Runner goes. Throw on down. Slid off the bank. Bullock was in there first, and then he slid off, and the tag was applied as he had slid off the base. At least I think.
He's not
the
leaving.
out signal was given. He's just standing there, and I think they may have recanted.
That was tough. He was so fast, and he slid so quickly.
The umpires are coming over to talk, again with Boss, perhaps, about what the decision was. I mean, Bullock slid off, and it sure looked like an out signal to me was made.
Yeah, and I'm quite far away. That's at second base, and the umpire was right there. But from my angle, it looked like he conceivably could have been out. It looked like his foot might have been off, and the tag was applied second hand. He has a ton of speed, but we've seen him he got picked off earlier, and he has the potential to get picked off again now, depending on how the call goes. And I think they're going to say he is safe and leave him on. We'd have to find out later on what the specifics are for that one.
Well, Elliott's still at the plate, but he's now in a 1-2 count. Bullock stands down there.
Elliott, he's 1 for 3 today, too, with a single in the third.
Well, if nothing else, Michigan would just like to get a run for pride's sake and to, get some good vibes going into the game tomorrow. Elliott swings and hits this one over to third. The play is quickly made for the first out.
And that was a solid textbook execution from Iverson at third base. He checked down the runner on second. He checked down Bullock, kept him from advancing, and then slung it over to first base to get out Elliott easily.
So that'll bring Griffin Mazer to the plate.
And Mazer, he is 1 for 1 today, so he has gotten quite lucky with the walks and the hit by pitch.
There's a ball taken low, 1-0.
Mazer, he's a transfer, is that right?
That is correct.
Where's he coming
Irvine.
from? Irvine, yep, Irvine.
1-0 count on Mazer. Christopherson still in the game. Now just over 25 pitches. Still got plenty in the tank, and with the big 7-0 lead, there's a called strike 1-1. Runner on second reached on an error and then stole second.
And 1 out in this 8th inning. Michigan just been completely biteless tonight, or barkless tonight. Looking to just get up a run to eliminate the goose egg at this point in the game.
1-1, swung on and hit by Mazer over to short. Charging play there, flipped across the diamond. Good defense again. Mitch Jebb there. Spartans outside of that one error to begin this inning. Otherwise, have been very sound in the field.
Yeah, and both of those contact hits by Mazer and Elliott, probably the two worst positioning they could have asked for, because it was Elliott went to the third baseman, Mazer went to the shortstop, both of which prevented the runner from advancing. And now with 2 outs, they got Bullock still on second, but it's not quite as much they could do with him as Flores comes to the plate.
Well, Flores today has a single, 1 for 3. owns one of Michigan's 3 hits. I mean, this has been a dominant performance by the Spartans all around. 15 hits offensively and allowing just 3 hits with the pitching staff and the defense. That's how you build a 7-0 lead. And they are now 4 outs away from closing out a win here on a Sunday afternoon.
And this is not just a win, it's pretty convincing as well. With seven runs on offense and 0 so far given up.
Called strike to Tito Flores.
And between this afternoon, or yesterday and today, this offense is really fired up for Michigan State with 11 against Illinois.
Runner goes, and that pitch gets away. And Bullock will be able to reach third easily. He's now 90 feet from home. Michigan State not too concerned about that with the 7-run lead. Just have to focus on getting Flores out here.
So
give him the stolen base.
Would that be a stolen base or a wild pitch?
Stolen base is the word on stat broadcast. 1-1 coming down and away. And good job by Sotras to get down in front of it.
So that means Bullock, he's 2 for 3 stealing today. Quite impressive.
2-1 the count. Bullock running around down there at third, trying to get in the head of Christopherson. And this one hit into shallow center field. Coming on and making the play there is Joe Stewart. And that'll do it. Michigan gets a runner aboard thanks to an error. Move him up to third on stolen bases, but they'll leave him there. Now there's 6th left on base today, and they trail 7-0 headed into the 9th. We'll see who comes out to pitch for Michigan here.
And I believe Walker will lead off for Michigan State.
Oh, well, that's a new pitcher for Michigan. It's a lefty.
It is number 40.
That's Angelo Smith.
Angelo Smith, the senior out of Illinois.
He's one of the few guys left on the roster who did play in the 2019 season a decent bit. With Smith, he's always been a little wild, and that's sort of the concern. But as a lefty, there's room for him in any bullpen, but just can a little be all over the place in year 4 as a contributor for this Michigan team. He has appeared in 2 games and allowed a run in both of those appearances. 2 walks. The walk has been his biggest problem. 1 strikeout, pair of hits as well allowed, ERA of 9 and a whip of 2. This is a low leverage situation for him to try and get a good appearance to his name for the first time in this 2021 season.
And it's really odd having this situation where the where Michigan's big run to the College World Series championship game in Omaha, that was less than 24 months ago. That was like 22 months ago, 21 months ago. And yet there's just so much discontinuity between that team and this team. You would think.
Well, that was an older team and certainly had a lot of MLB prospects.
And a bunt is shown, but
it's a strike.
Strike, taken for a strike. Curious that they're trying a bunt with a no runners on, up by 7 in the 9th, but
that pitch chopped foul. It's Saeed Walker to lead things off. Proctor's final line, 1 1/3 inning, 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, and 3 strikeouts. All of these Michigan pitchers, as this one is hit and in to the outfield for a single by Saeed Walker. That is now his 3rd hit of the day and make it number 16 for the Spartans.
Not on 2 outs, though. This is on 0 outs. But this Michigan team, even even down by 7, just trying to scramble to 3 outs, unable to do so, and Michigan State makes them work for those outs.
That'll bring Brock Vredenberg to the plate. Pitch down and away. One of the things I was saying a minute ago is that all of these pitchers, at times in their outings, showed good stuff. I mean, Denner had a stretch there where he looked really good. Jack White came in and began really strong, then let things get away from him as there's a ball. Now 2-0 on Vredenberg, and Will Proctor got that strikeout to close out the 7th, started with an out, had 2 outs and only a runner aboard in the 8th, and then let things get away from him. So there's some positives to take away for the Michigan pitching staff as another ball is well outside 3-0.
Yeah, it's just from the plate, it's tough. Even giving up 7 runs, it's tough morally, like the morale of the pitchers to go out there without any support on offense.
And there's a called strike.
And with that, it is 3-1 with 0 outs. Vredenberg at the plate for the Spartans. They lead 7-0 in this 9th inning.
So there's a swing and a miss. Now the count runs full 3-2. Angelo Smith has gotten some strikeouts in his career. It's just been the dichotomy of the strikeout walk that has hurt him. 1 strikeout so far this season, looking to collect his 2nd. 3-2 count, runner on first, nobody out here in the top of the 9th. Swing and a miss. And that'll be his first strikeout of this outing. 1 on, 1 out. As Gabe Sotris comes to the plate, 2 for 4 today. A double and a single. Also a strikeout swinging and a ground out to third. Michigan State with 16 hits in 40 at-bats, hitting collectively as a team 400. Michigan 3 for 27, collectively 111. Big disparity in pretty much every facet of the game here today as there's a called strike to Sotris.
And it looks like Angelo Smith is finally checking in here, finding his zone. Struggled at first, but he got that strikeout.
Smith watches the runner go. Throw on down by Mazer. Not quite there. Decent throw and was on the right side of the bag. Tag quickly applied by Bertram, but not able to get the out.
It's tough. That pitch was a changeup, and it says 74 miles per hour. And he got a great jump. Walker did.
Oh,
he
and
has
Smith,
a lot
as a
of
lefty,
speed.
was looking right at him. I mean, he was. I thought there might be a pickoff potential play with a rundown because he was looking right at him as he took off.
It's a great effort from Mazer. It's just it was a tough situation. He had the perfect throw and had quite a lot of velocity to it and got it off quick. It just unable to get there in time.
Now Zaid Walker has now moved himself up to second and in scoring position. See if Sotris can bring him home. There's a swing and a miss now. Ahead in the count is Smith, 1-2.
Sotris, he's 2 for 4 today with a single and a double. And when he hit the double, he was brought in that 2nd inning. Becoming actually the first.
And the runner goes again. Pitch is low, throw down, got him. Zaid Walker getting a little greedy there. And Mazer guns him out.
Not giving him any free stats. He was trying to pad his stats late in the game. Potentially even get a run in, but got greedy. Got
Pitch
too greedy.
missed, I believe, low, so it's 2-2 now on Sotris, and if he can get the out here, can end the inning. That one at his feet.
So a full count. It'll come down to the wire here in the top of the 9th. Regardless, it's going to be quite tough for the Wolverines to take this one, even being at home.
3-2, just missed inside, and there's that walk that is haunted Smith throughout his career. That'll bring Mitch Jebb to the plate. Runner now on first. 2 outs in the inning.
Mitch Jebb, he's 1 for 3. He had that electric triple in the second inning, with which was the first RBI, and then he was hit in.
Swung and fouled it off. 0-1 the count.
The left-hander Jebb, he's been quite late all day, either fouling it off or hitting it into the left field on all of these pitches.
That pitch down and outside. One and one.
And Michigan's fans, even though it's this game has gotten out of hand, a lot of them are sticking around till the end.
So strike 1 and 2. Well, remember, these are related to the players.
That's fair. That's a fair point. Yeah, and the Michigan State fans, they've mostly left, it looks like, or cleared out, so maybe they got a start on the drive
and
back.
there's a called strike 3.
Back to Lansing.
Backwards K. Angelo Smith collects a couple Ks, gives up a single and a walk. Scoreless inning, and now last call for the Wolverines. It'll be Obertop, Molfetta, and Sims. We'll see who handles the 9th for the Spartans. Not sure if it'll be Christopherson again, but he's been very sharp so far.
All 3 of those players have yet to get in a hit today. Only 3 hits in total for Michigan, so it's not super abnormal about that. But they have a chance to maybe make something happen, get a crazy rally going, and save this game and get I know, like, this is probably one of their biggest rivals. It's Michigan State and Ohio State. They definitely want this win. And Michigan, assuming this result holds and like bearing a 7-run comeback, they will fall to 8-3 on the season, while Michigan State will advance to 6-5 with this win, assuming it holds. And then there's a game tomorrow as well, a rematch of this at 4 p.m., and we will be covering that. So tune in to WCBN.
So, getting ready now for the bottom of the 9th as we have officially hit, or about to hit, the 7 o'clock hour. 45 more seconds until it will be 7. And this game, unless this inning rolls way long, will clock in at about a 3-hour game. Some of the innings have been long when Michigan State's done their damage, but Michigan's feeble bats have definitely sped this game up. And Christopherson stays in. He'll face Jimmy Obertop. First pitch, called strike.
That pitch looked really juicy right down the plate. Bit of a slower fastball, only 87.
0-1 the count. Wind up, and that one is swung on and missed. 0-2, Obertop's up there to hit.
Obertop, he is 243 this season. He has the power. He already has 4 home runs and 10 RBIs, but certainly has room to boost up that average.
0-2 count, and this is swung and hit into left field for a base hit, just getting enough of it.
And that snuck right in between the shortstop and the third baseman. There was a pretty heavy shift employed, but he found probably like the 1 degree spot where he could squeeze it through that infield. And it just like screaming rope on the ground straight to the outfield.
So that'll bring up Christian Molfetta.
That's the thing with these AstroTurf fields. There's no lip or anything. between the infield and the outfield, or infield and the.
There's a called strike to Molfetta. How many MLB stadiums have you been to?
Have I been to? I've been to quite a bit. I go to Nats Park probably about 10 games a season in high school. I'm a big Red Sox fan. I try and go a couple of times in my life.
There's a swing and a drive by Molfetta, and that will get down into left center field and roll all the way to the wall. Runner headed to third will be held, and Obertop stands there. Michigan just trying to get some runs, and they've got a couple runners on now.
Yeah, definitely to erase that goose egg would be huge. I guess not really in the standings, but morally and helping the team's outlook after this game.
Well, I mean, you think about it again. These two teams are going to, go back at it tomorrow, and Michigan wants to have momentum, or at least to feel a little bit better about themselves going into that game. And Sems now comes up, chance to drive in a few runs. Michigan State's going to stick with Christopherson, and he's pitched so well in this game and so well this season.
Have you been to a lot of MLB ballparks?
Been to maybe 10 or 12. Give you the list in a moment.
I'd have to think I'm probably around that range as well.
Going to have a conversation now as Sotris goes out there. I've been to Comerica, the two Chicago ones, Miller Park in Milwaukee, both Ohio ones, that's 6. Both Florida ones, that's 8. Both DMV ones, that's 10. Trying to think if I've been to any others. Yeah, maybe 10. There's a swing and a foul back by Sems.
Yeah, my list, not too much overlap. I've been to Fenway, been to the two DC ones, the O's and Nats Park. Been to both New York ones and been to Wrigley, but I think that might be it actually, now that I'm actually counting it out.
There's a swing and a ball hit into left field, a base hit. 1 run scores, and Michigan is on the board. 3 hits to begin this 9th inning. 2 singles and a double, and it's 7-1.
Yeah, so Michigan is quite lucky to get that run in and no outs either. So who knows? This could be the start of a huge comeback, a 7-run comeback. I would imagine if it gets within 3, they'd put in a different pitcher for maybe the save. But we will have to see if it even gets that far as Marty comes to the plate.
There's a pitch.
He showed bunt at the first, and that's gutsy. Down 6 in the bottom of the 9th, bunting.
Yeah, I would not recommend doing that. There's a ball to start that at bat to Marty, so this will be the 1-0 on the way. Not showing there, takes it high, 2-0. The Michigan bench really getting fired up, trying to will their team back into it.
My dad just texted me reminding me I've been to the Blue Jays Stadium as well. That was actually a lot of fun. Saw a Red Sox game there.
2-0 on the way. Swing, and this ball is hit into right field on the run. Back to the track to the wall, and it drops in. And 1 run scores. Runners go to second and third. Now it's 7-2.
Michigan showing some life here in the bottom of the 9th. They bring it within 5, have 2 runners in scoring position. If they were more aggressive, they probably even could have rounded in a third runner there.
You don't want to run into outs.
Yeah, with 0 outs, there's no need for that.
So
but down 7-2, but they are not giving up without a fight as Bertram comes to the plate.
And now Bertram will come up, but it won't be him. It'll be a pinch hitter, Logan Pollock, number 45.
That's probably a good move with Bertram and Bullock at the bottom of the lineup, possibly pinch hitting for either of them. It looks like they're going with a pinch hitter here, Logan Pollock. batting 200 on the season. I'm curious how many at-bats that would be, though. It says he only has 2 hits, so probably 10 at-bats on this season.
First pitch is outside. Man, every ball is just getting the Michigan bench fired up.
And that's the big difference between this Michigan and Michigan State bench. Even though Michigan State has had a ton to cheer about, they've been silent. They've been sitting in the dugout. Even when Michigan was giving up runs, 2 or 3 in an inning, the dugout has been up and cheering.
There's another pitch high, and Christopherson is really running into problems. 2-0 now.
And Christopherson, he's already racked up 2.2 innings. It's curious they kept him in for potentially this. It would be his 4th inning, or like he would have gotten 3 and some change if he would have finished this game up.
2-0 misses, and now it's 3-0.
And 3-0 with this pinch runner or pinch hitter Logan Pollock at the plate. Walking him would load the bases in this 5-run game, so one swing could bring it within 1.
3-0 count. That one is low, and now the bases are loaded with nobody out, and a 5-run game. We'll see if Michigan State is going to try and slow this down a little bit. Yeah, coach is coming out. I think they're going to make a pitching change.
And we also have a pinch runner for Pollock on first base. Number 18, Jordan Rogers, is going to come out there. So looking to get, and they're, as they make a change, Michigan's coming into the dugout, but this dugout is really fired up. This bench is quite ecstatic at how they're performing in this 9th inning. It's a shame for them that they couldn't get this going until now. I'm scanning the crowd, and I see a handful of rally caps out there from Michigan fans and family. It's a shame that it's only family, because I'm sure if any students were here, they'd be even louder than the players. And Bullock would be up next. I'm wondering if they try and pinch hit for him. He is batting .219 on the year. He's had some struggles with hitting at his time at Michigan, so I'm curious if he comes on out with the bases loaded.
So the new pitcher is Jordan Beatson for the Spartans. Let me make sure we have that pronunciation correct. It's not listed in the pronunciation guide, so we'll go with Beatson, Beatson. He's got a 5.40 ERA on the season, 4 hits and 3 walks and 3 1/3 innings pitched.
And they're probably looking to him just to stop the bleeding, a change of pace, something that Michigan has done well. So Jordan Rogers, once again, he's pinch running on first base as we have this this pitcher substitution coming in for the Spartans.
So we'll set the stage. Bases are loaded, nobody out. Michigan trails Michigan State 7-2 in the bottom of the 9th. Michigan needs to drive in 5 or more runs before 3 outs are recorded in this inning. And just kind of out of nowhere, have jumped all over Christopherson. 4 straight hits.
And Christopherson, he pitched 2.2, and he was flawless, it looked like.
First pitch to Bullock, swings, and he just out in front of this one, yanks it foul.
He had perfect contact on that, just a tad bit early, and it lasered its way just to the right of first base. But that could have brought in 2 runs if it were a foot or 2 to the left.
Bullock waits, swings and fouls this one back, and ahead is Beatson in the count.
And Bullock is aggressive at the plate here with with bases loaded, no outs. The first 2 pitches he swung at, made contact with, both of them foul, however.
Count 0-2. The windup and the pitch, down and away. Again, Michigan's dugout just trying to will their team back in it. If Bullock can get aboard, that would bring the tying run to the plate. With still no one out in this inning, Michigan State entered the inning up 7-0. Things have suddenly got prickly. 1-2, swing and a miss. And that is a big strikeout for Beatson. And you can hear the Michigan State fans here going wild.
And Bullock was swinging for the fences on that one, just swinging too much and couldn't get a whack at it. Couldn't get metal on the leather. But top of the lineup comes up. We have Elliott, who is 1 for 4 today, but he has 2 home runs this weekend.
Elliott in the batter's box takes a called strike.
Imagine a home run right now, how wild that bullpen would get with a grand slam in the bottom of the 9th. Still down 5, so they would need, that wouldn't quite be enough.
And that pitch misses, 1-1.
And Clark Elliott, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, they have been back and forth on whether to start him or not at leadoff. And
1-1. Just missed. 2-1. That's a gutsy take by Clark Elliott.
He checked his swing a little bit, and it looks awesome now, but it could have just as easily been called a strike and would have been disappointing.
Griffin Mazer on deck, 2-1. Swung on and chopped foul, 2-2. Clark Elliott had a big day yesterday. 1 single, 1 for 4 today. 300 hitter on this short season.
The Michigan bench is still up and loud with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th, down by 5.
Bases loaded, 2-2 count. Beatson winds up. The pitch swung and popped foul over our heads, and it hits the roof. And then bounces right down, right where those fans are sitting. Bounced just 2 rows in front of them, and I think that kid got to pick up the foul ball.
Lucky souvenir.
2-2 count. The windup. The pitch, that one low, and now it's 3-2. Again, a walk would force in a run and would bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Griffin Mazer, who's got 3 long balls on the season.
Clark Elliott is really making Beatson work for this out.
Here we go. The windup. The pitch. Swinging a ground ball. This one soft into the infield. There isn't going to be a play anywhere to be found. And Elliott beats it out to first. The shortstop, Jeb, had no chance on the slow roller and the speedy Elliott down the line. It's now a 7-3 game, and Mazer will come on up.
Mazer has had quite the afternoon for Michigan, I guess. He's 1 for 2, which might not look that great, but compared to the rest of the team, it is quite impressive. He got a walk, a hit by pitch, and a single.
So Mazer is the tying run at the plate. Michigan down 4, 7-3. Bases are loaded, 1 out. Mazer at the plate. Flores on deck. The windup. First pitch coming is in the dirt. Again, Beatson is an interesting reliever to go to in this situation because his numbers for this short season, not good. An ERA close to 5 and a whip of over 2.5. as opposed to the sterling numbers Christopherson had when they brought him into the game. Then he ran out of gas here in this ninth. 1-0 on the way. Mazer swings and pops this one up into shallow right field. Coming in, having room, and making the play is Zaid Walker. And now Michigan will be down to their final out, Tito Flores.
However, as a reminder, one swing could tie this up now. It's a 4-run game. That pop fly on third base, Marty was really looking to come home on that, but it wasn't quite far enough. He waited to go until it was caught, and he took a couple steps, but then he saw he would have been picked off pretty easily to end the game. So he made the right decision there.
First pitch, Flores swings and hits this one into center field. Outfielders on the run, back to the track, and it lands at the base of the wall. 1 run scores, 2 run scores. The third run waved around. He will score! And it's 7-6, Tito Flores. A bases clearing double. And now the tying run in scoring position for Jimmy Obertop.
And my friends, we have a ball game. One swing of the bat could walk this off. Tying run on second. Wow. That came in clutch from Flores, and it was perfectly placed, too. It was a soaring, screeching fly ball right in between the center field and right field, and neither outfielder could get to it in time.
6 runs have come home in the bottom of the ninth after it was 7-0 Spartans at the beginning of the inning. Jimmy Obertop in the batter's box. First pitch, and he swings and misses. We've seen Obertop be very aggressive today.
Obertop, 4 home runs on the season. That first swing looked like he was trying to get a 5th.
And Obertop began this inning with a single. He's 1 for 4 today. Now he's facing a different pitcher in the same inning.
So they did hit around.
Yep.
But no consolation if they fall 1 run short.
0-1 is a cold strike on the outer edge, and the Michigan dugout just not a fan of that one, and they are shouting right now.
Yeah, but even with this as a close game, Michigan's still up and rowdy in the dugout. Michigan State, just as they've always been all afternoon, keeping quiet on the
Obertop's
first base dugout.
Got to be in plate protection mode in an 0-2 hole. The pitch, swing, and he fouls it off. This is where you need ice in the veins.
Exactly. You need clutch play, but Obertop at the cleanup spot. There's very, very few other players I'd like on this Michigan team to be up right now.
Doesn't need the homer. Just a single could tie the game with Flores on second. The windup, the 0-2, that one bounces in. Getting in front of it there is Sotras, the catcher.
And Flores was like a third of the way to third base along the base path. Michigan is warming someone in the pen for the off chance we get extra innings.
1-2 the count. Obertop in the batter's box, looking to tie this game. Runner on second, 7-6. 2 outs, and then Beatson has to step off.
Timeout called by the catcher for Michigan State.
Sotras. Flores has a steal this season, and he plays in the outfield. He's got some speed, certainly second to home speed, and with 2 outs, he'll be going on contact. Beatson puts the ball in the glove, checks the runner. The pitch, swing, and a ball hit foul.
That had the power if it weren't so late on it.
Well, we know how much muscle Obertop has in his bat.
The sun is starting to hide under the tree line right by the big house. And this one, it's getting quite late. It's been 3 hours, 20 minutes in this game.
1-2 the count. And a time called again as Beatson's taking a while in this stressful situation. He came in relief of Christopherson. Again, it's a 7-6 Michigan State lead. It was 7-0 at the beginning of this ninth inning. We thought this was the calm ending to an otherwise frustrating game, but Michigan's bats had second thoughts.
Yeah.
Beatson looks. The 1-2 on the way. Swinging a fly ball hit into right field. Going back is Walker to the track. To the wall. Are you kidding me? Jimmy Obertop. 2-run home run. Michigan does the unthinkable. 8-7 2-run walk-off home run. 8 runs in the bottom of the ninth. And it's over.
And bullpen clears, dugout clears, meeting Obertop at home plate. If any player on the team would do it, it would be him, and he comes in clutch. Had a quiet night before that, but no one's going to remember that now. Michigan with 8 runs in the bottom of the ninth, getting their 9th victory of the season, and Michigan State gets their 6th loss of the season on that one.
And Michigan State's fielders are just standing. Some of them in the outfield haven't even come back to the dugout yet in disbelief. Some of the Michigan fans here in attendance are standing also in disbelief. The players completely emptied that Gatorade tub. Ice is all over the batter's box, and the players just been hugging and going wild. 8 runs in the bottom of the ninth to erase a 7-0 deficit and win this baseball game.
I was going to mention this before the pitch, but obviously we got sidetracked. But I was wondering why they kept Beatson in when it was a 1-run game. I was surprised they didn't put a closer in, maybe, someone with a little bit better ERA, but I guess it's too late now. Beatson now has an 11.25 ERA, so this inning just wrecked it for him, only recording 2 outs and giving up. How many were credited to him? But I think 5 were credited to him. But regardless, Michigan comes out with a giant win. Even when no one was expecting it, down 7 in the bottom of the ninth, they would not quit. And the fans and the family who stuck around for this game got a real show tonight.
Well, we'll go through just a quick game recap of what happened in this ninth. Michigan came in down 7-0, and with the game seemingly over, but Jimmy Obertop singled, Molfetta doubled, Sems brought in 2 with an RBI single. Then Marty doubled, and that at that point made it 7-2. Pollock came to the plate. He drew a walk as he was pinch hitting for Bertram. That loaded the bases in a 7-2 game with no outs in the inning. So then they brought in the reliever Beatson. He struck out Bullock swinging, but then gave up the infield single to Clark Elliott. That made it 7-3 with the bases loaded. Mazer flew out to right, and then Tito Flores doubled to clear the bases and make it 7-6. And then Jimmy Obertop came to the plate in a 1-2 count. We talked about Michigan State in the 2-strike, 2-out situations, killing Michigan early in the game. Well, Jimmy Obertop was the one to get the last laugh in a 2-strike, 2-out situation, and he ends it. 2-run homer to right, his 5th home run of the season. And it is 8-7 Michigan over Michigan State. Final score from Ann Arbor. Any last thoughts, Adam?
I think you summed it up perfectly. This Michigan team showed that they will not give up, and that is a trait to have if they want to go far into Omaha this season. They hold their position on the top of the Big Ten as these two teams face off same time tomorrow, 4 p.m., and somehow it's supposed to be even nicer tomorrow than it was today. Tune in. WCBN will be covering that as well.
And we'll have our audio on BTN Plus as well. That does it from Ann Arbor and Ray Fisher Stadium here today. Once again, the final score, Michigan 8, Michigan State 7. Angelo Smith gets the win. Jordan Beatson the loss. For Adam Bressler and Alex Strain, signing off tonight and leaving you with a good night and go blue.